Huge mistakes that lose you games, tips that only the best players in the world know, and everything in between. We're breaking down everything you need to know in College Football 25 if you want to win more games. So if that's something you want to do, you need to be watching this video. Let's get into it. This quick throw to the right side of the field is one of the most annoying things to defend every single year, dude. But now we actually have a super easy way of defending these. I've overlooked for a very, very long time, and I'm upset with myself, so I wanted to show you guys this very early on. Is this route or this zone right here a seam flat? It's very straightforward. It defends the seam, then works its way out to the flat. And against a route combo like this that is attacking the seam, he's really good at defending it. You see right there, he's going to play it again, almost an easy pick. So how do we get seam flats out there? Well, two different ways, okay? First of all, it comes stock in every cover 3 blitz. So you can either find a cover 3 blitz like Sam Edge 3, or go into your concepts and go to zone blitz 3 deep. And all of these are, for the most part, cover 3 blitzes. So let's go into something like, let's go SS blitz 3 from the 4-3 over walk, okay? And what do we have here on the right side? We go all the way over. This guy's in a seam flat, all right? So we can just snap this ball, and look, he's going to carry up. And that's going to totally change the throw of this, okay? It's massive, massive, massive. Now, let's say that instead we want to call our normal defense, which is actually just a cover 3 sky, and this is our normal defense. Well, we can actually adjust a defender into a seam flat by clicking onto him, hitting A or X on PlayStation, and then if you look, the left stick up is going to turn him into a seam flat. This means that we can run whatever defense we want to run, man coverage, Tampa 2, whatever it is, and still have a seam flat on that side of the field, and he's going to carry up still. Now, if they fit that ball in, that is just a risky throw. Now, it is important to note with this, though, that you want your zone drops to all be at default. That is massive for this tip to work. But again, seam flats, bag all of these seam streaks that you see thrown on the field. If you've gotten value from this video, consider doing me a massive favor and hit the subscribe button. It's 1,000,000,000% free, and it seriously helps out this channel a ton. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on here. It'd be flipping awesome if we could. So again, if we give you any kind of value, consider doing that for us. See y'all back in the video. Jet touch passes are very good in this game. You either run them yourself or you've seen people run them on you. They get to the edge really easily, especially with how good spin moves are at cutting back. They're super good, and they look just like this right here. They're just called jet touch pass. Like every playbook has them, okay? Now I'm gonna show you 2 different ways we can slow these down actually, and it's really good when you pair these together, okay? So the first one on defense is that we want to be one of these either 2nd or 3rd level defenders, so a linebacker, a safety, and ideally, we want to be somebody who's on the side opposite of where it's going to. So it's going to the right here. I want to be on the left, and then try to user loop around and force them back inside. That's the first thing we can do, right? That's called just being the user contained, and it's very good against a lot of outside runs. It's a very simple, like, strategy just to force people to at least have to have good stick work, and then, like, you know, have to cut it back inside, right? Make them use a little bit of skill. So a user loop, and now they have to cut back inside. Mind you, I'm using 2 controllers right here, so keep that in mind. Now, the next thing we can do is that same idea of user looping, but if we press RB or R1 on PlayStation, look at this screen that comes up. We can shift our entire defense to the left. We could shift them to the right, or we could pinch them or spread them. Now here, against something like this, when I see that touch pass coming, that motion, right, because a little motion early, we want to actually shift everybody to the left, and that's going to get us more bodies over there. See what I'm saying? Now, if they do that cutback right there, that was insane from the CPU, actually. That was nuts. But just by shifting everybody, we're just going to get more bodies over there, which is going to help us. So right here, I'm actually going to user somebody in the 2nd level, right? We see this. Motion. Oh, motion. And he's ran a few touch passes on me. I'm going to do that, and that's going to help guys come free, okay? Simply just shift your defense and user swoop like I showed. It can make all the difference in the world in slowing down this very, very good play. Trying to beat good man coverage is one of the most frustrating things we could do because it just seems like they just run the routes for you sometimes, and it's just super annoying. You've probably played against man coverage before, that it seems like nothing gets open. So there's a few things I want to point out that I do when I try to beat man coverage that I always keep in mind, and I'm actually going to give you an entire play that you can either steal exactly or take some of the concepts from, okay? So let's go into something like nickel, and we will go into a basic cover 2 man. Where's my cover 2 man? There it is, cover 2 man. And then the play I love is actually out of a scheme I recently built out of the Alabama playbook from bunch tight end. and we're going to go into the play whips, okay? Now, first thing we got to keep in mind is that every man-beating route has a percentage of the time it wins against man. This tight end zig route is really good against man, but it doesn't actually win every single time. There's about, even right there, it's a little bit closer, there's like an 85% win chance. The actual win chance is based upon like leverage, player ratings, shading, all that different stuff, right? Every man beater can get bagged by man coverage, even if it's a man beater. The reason it's important to keep that in mind is that zone coverage is different. If I call Tampa 2 and I go cover 2 hard flats right here on the left side, and then I run a flood concept over there, right? This deep corner will be open every time against cover 2 hard flat, no matter what. There's no probability here. There's no chance. It's literally just the dynamics of where the zone defense is setting up as opposed to where the corner route is running. So with that in mind, against man coverage, we actually want to give ourselves a few different man-beating routes. So the reason I like to play tight end whips so much is we can do that in a few different ways. One, we can streak our point wide receiver. Streaks are super good against man because if they go cover 0, right? Let's say they try sending the dogs at us and they don't have any help over top. Streaks can actually be an easy one-play touchdown a lot of the time. Let's see right here. Can we get it? You see how we're able to get a step on him? And then it's just about making the throw and making the catch. Right there, we missed the throw and the catch. But you get kind of the idea, right? We do this bad boy again. Let's see if we can set up something a little bit different. Let's see how this looks. Boom, Y. And there, right there, Y is going to get a step. Then it's just about throwing it. I like to do a lob pass a lot of times. Streaks will beat man coverage over the top very consistently. So I always want to have one of these, okay? The next thing I really like is a stemmed down corner route. So in this case, we're going to tap Y or triangle. We'll select X in this case, and then hold LB to custom stem him all the way down by pushing the left stick down, okay? Now we have something like this. Then I just love zig routes. So in this case, we're going to have 2 zigs in the middle of the field. I'll actually re-zig this guy sometimes, but it kind of look like this. And then your halfback is also another great one. And in this case, we'll just Texas route our halfback. So it looks something like this. Here, we actually have 5 different man beaters. So based on pure probability, even if we get screwed on 1 or 2 of them, we are going to have somebody open, okay? Now, you want to make sure you build a good route combo around this as well. You don't want to just have random routes out there. But something like this is incredibly good at beating man coverage because we have 5 different guys who can all get open. Right here, we're going to go back to the zig. The corner route's been bagged twice in a row, but the corner route is a good one that you can throw. We'll see if we can get him at some point here, but maybe we won't. Let's go back to this. This time, I'll actually block my halfback, and we'll have them send pressure. Oh, this time, let's see. Can we throw that corner route? High ball. There we go. We're able to hit the corner route. Against man, I love high balling corners. A lot of times, they'll undercut it if you don't. So just keep that in mind as well. Go back to something like this. This time, we get, we'll go A. See, both the zig on the left was bagged that time, but that time, A1. I hope this makes sense for a few man-beating routes that you can have, like streaks, like corner routes, like zigs, like halfback Texas routes, and that they're not always going to be open, so you have to make the read in the play. You can't just make the predetermined read. Some routes, though, like the tight end zig right here, really, really good against man, and that win percentage could be like 95, 96, 97%. Not being able to pick up a blitz can be very, very frustrating. So, one of the easiest things that I found to help myself pick up just various blitzes, and this works pretty much every single year, actually, this idea, is let's go into double A gap right here, and we'll just send the front line at us, okay? Let me zone him out. Okay, so we're going to send 6 at us. What I like to do is to hold LB or L1 and to full slide with the left stick towards my halfback, okay? That is going to make my halfback block, and that's going to make my entire offensive line shift left, essentially, slide left. Then we want to hold LB again, tap A, and then we can move this M icon to the end man on the line of scrimmage, opposite of the halfback. Now watch what happens here. The halfback is going to come across, and he's actually going to usually try cut blocking that edge guy coming free. This is a really good, just standard rule of thumb style of blocking. This won't block literally everything, but if you are having issues, again, it's simple. Once you come out, it doesn't matter what your halfback's already on. You just want to make sure it's not play action, okay? You want to hold LB, full slide to your halfback. So in this case, it's to the right with the left stick. And then we're going to hold LB again, tap A, which is then going to allow us to do this right here. And we're going to set the mic. Let me get off of that guy. Cool. And then all we got to do, snap the ball. You'll see the halfback come across. Now, this can also be really good for rolling out. If you had a faster QB, you can kind of see how that would be. Because that cut block actually eliminates that defender. So a little extra like pro tip for you right here is let's do something like this. Let's do the same idea from the double mug. Send the dogs at him, sure. All we're going to do here, we're going to full slide towards the halfback, but then we're going to ID the mic on this guy on the right. And as again, sometimes this can be a little bit unnecessary, but it's just, I'm doing it as like a kind of standard rule of thumb. We snap the ball. He's going to cut block that guy. He gets hurdled, but notice they lose contain. This is actually a really good way to roll out as well. So at the bottom of your screen, you see something called packages. This is in the formations tab, and all we have to do is flick the right stick to the left or right. We can kind of go through different packages. Now, a lot of times, they're pretty basic. It's a good way to get your quarterback out of the game, halfback sub, stuff like that, right? But we could do some really cool stuff with these packages too. Let's go into goal line. We go here, and we can go jumbo package, which is going to get a tight end in at halfback. Or we can go to Miami package, and if we come out in Miami, notice who our tight end is. Wolo is a defense. He is our starting defensive tackle. Okay, now he's not open right here, but we can get him right there. Okay, that's kind of cool, but not super useful, but cool, right? Well, then let's look at another formation. This one is called F twins over. And if we go here and flick the right stick to the left once, we get a wide receiver at quarterback, or we get a halfback at quarterback, right? Each formation has their own specific formation packages, which can be very, very cool. But I want to show you guys a little bit more utility of this, how it can be like very essential to you, okay? Right now, I'm on defense. I'm in the 4-2-5 over G, all right? My slot corner, if I try to put him in any adjustments, you see what these look like, right? He can go into a middle third. He can go into an outside third. He can go, into a bunch of different things. And some of you might be saying, these are a little bit weird adjustments for a slot corner, right? Like, how'd you get your slot corner into a deep half? Well, this is specific to the formation. If I didn't want that, we could go right here. Let's just call play on offense really fast. We could go to our packages on defense in the over G, and we could go find a package called slot cornerback. And now with slot cornerback, all we have to do is go back to our slot corner, and notice his adjustments have totally changed. Now, instead of a deep middle third, it's a seam flat. This would be big if you're trying to defend those seams like we talked about earlier. Or we could vert hook him, right? Now, these are entirely different than what we just had. This is a major thing if you're trying to get different adjustments. And you could do the reverse, right? Here in nickel over, our slot corner already has the seam flat adjustments, right? But if we do the right stick, the package, we go to big nickel, and now let's look what our slot corner has. Our slot corner here is now going to have, again, oh, actually, he doesn't here. Oh, yeah, okay, it that was a weird UI bug. We all saw that. But now he has the middle third, right? He's going to have the deep half right. He has a bunch of different things that we could do, all by utilizing our packages. This could be huge to just check out in whatever offensive scheme you're running right now and just see what's possible. The switch stick has to be the biggest change in a college football game, or any football game for that matter, ever. And I seriously mean that. I want to talk about some do's and don'ts. First and foremost, I want to show you guys a clip of how powerful the switch stick can be and how it can easily take away an absolute laser beam and turn it into an interception, okay? Now, there's a couple of do's and don'ts that you need to know when you're trying to switch stick, and then I'm going to give you some actual tips for how I try to use it inside of whatever defense I'm doing, okay? First and foremost, quick little speed run. Your user has to be in a coverage assignment. The ball can't have been thrown already. And then it has to be a pass play, right? RPOs do count, okay? Next thing, I hate using this on man coverage. If you are running man, I don't want to do this because, very, very simple actually. If we switch stick in man, it's just easy to get lost and then let a slant get wide open because we don't really know what we're doing, okay? You don't always know where you're going with the switch stick. It's very, very sensitive. So just something to keep in mind. I like doing it in zone coverage. I think it's much, much better in zone. All right. So easiest thing we can do here is whatever defensive scheme we're running, you should be doing something defensively where you have an idea of what you want to do, and what's open, where your strengths are and weaknesses are. Okay. So a good example of this would be if I were to run like a cover 2, and then let's say I ran a cover 2 hard flat style defense. Okay. So it's like this. I know my weaknesses are in the top outsides, so above my hard flat. A big thing that I would do then is I would tell myself, if I see corner route, I am going to switch stick over there and help take that away like I did right there. That is the idea. You want to have a scheme, whatever you're doing, right? Whatever play you're calling, you want to know its weaknesses and then have a plan with your switch stick pre-snap. I know, okay, ball snap, what we got. Oh, corner route, and then I'm there. See what I'm saying? Then we're able to take away that corner route. And now, is something else going to be open? Yes, but the thing is, by switch sticking, a lot of times we catch people off guard with it, right? Another example would be this right here. If I were to go into a cover 3, let's say we do something like this, where we go to a true flood concept on the right. We snap this ball. I'm in the middle. Oh my gosh, corner route. We're able to switch on and then try to make that run upfield. Does that make sense? That is massive. I am telling you, if you're not using switch stick right now, try implementing it very basically into your scheme, and it will change everything for you. Let's see if we can get a cool clip right here. Boom. Oh, corner route, boom. Pick, bang. And that was a hard flat. That was it. He was supposed to defend underneath. But I saw the corner route, the weakness in my defense. I said, let me switch stick, and we went up and we got the ball. We're down 21. Huge 4th and 10 right here. We got to get it, and we're going to go to this route right here. Let's see what we got. Oh, and it's wide open. Bang. What is that? That is a custom stemmed speed out route. You have to steal this into your offense some way, somehow. I don't care about anything else. All you need to do with this is have a receiver out wide. So we have it on the left side right here. And then we need to tap Y to bring up our receiver icons. Select X to get our guy right here. And then we're going to put him on a speed out with left on the left stick. All right. The initial speed out looks like this, but we're going to stem him all the way up. We're going to go back to that screen, but hold LB to custom stem. And then we'll go right here at 10 yards. Okay. I don't care about anything else you have on the field. You can figure all that good stuff out. But watch this bad boy right here. All we need to do is try pass leading him down and outside a little bit. You might have to adjust it some as depending on the defense. But these custom stems between 10 yards to 15 yards are absolutely nasty. We'll go right here, see if we can get it. The pass lead here is pretty important. But you see again, boom, tutty. This, dude, this is massive. Also, I put LSU and Texas in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and I love it. This is the best thing I've done. LSU is getting blurred right now, but that's besides the point. There's 2 types of plays that not enough people are using that I think would make offense significantly easier for you. I want to talk about both of them in this little segment right here. The first one of these are RPOs, but not just RPOs, RPO read bubbles and RPO read screens. So we actually have one right here on the right of our screen, RPO read wide receiver screen, and then we have an RPO read bubble right here. Now, what the read means, it's actually pretty simple. The read means read option. So, if we look at this play, we have a read key, and then we have a pitch or a pass key right here with the P. The first part of this is a simple read option. So, let's actually hold it right here. Hold A or X on PlayStation, and you'll pull the ball, and you'll actually be able to hold it on that, okay? Let's do it again. I want to hold it, so we hold A or X, and we do it. If we want to hand that ball off, we would just touch nothing, and it'd be a basic inside zone. Let's just do it this time. Obviously, that's not the right read, but you get the idea. The next part of this is that we can actually throw this bubble. So right here, that bubble defender with the P, he totally bailed. I don't know why he bailed, but he did. So we're able to actually do that. And all we have to do to throw the bubble is just hit his button. I like to bullet pass this, so keep that in mind. You don't ever want to, lob that. But it's very, very easy. A lot of playbooks have these bad boys. Let's do it right here. Bang. Now we're able to get out. Inside this one play, it's essentially like a triple option, and it's 3 plays, right? We have the handoff, we have the keep, we have the bubble, or the wide receiver screen if we called one of those. I don't love, the RPO read Y flats, the RPO read flats. Those are okay, and they definitely can work. It's just not a personal favorite of mine. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is an actual triple option, which we can get inside the Oregon playbook in the gun trips formation. If we go, they also have an RPO read bubble right here. Keep that in mind. But if we go, where is this bad boy? QB slot option. And there's a bunch of triple options in this game. These are really, really good. Now, a big thing I want to do is run this triple option to the wide side. If you guys want to respot the football, by the way, in practice mode, hold left trigger or L2 and click the right stick in. That'll let you actually move the football around. And then we're running a read option right here, so let's pull it. And we have a little speed option. So we're able to pitch that bad boy out. That's essentially how that works. So again, just like the RPO read, where we have numerous plays inside of one, right here, we again have numerous plays inside of one. Now, this can be a little bit risky, right? Because if you get hit as you're trying to pitch that ball, it could be a bad pitch. Something to note is that, let's see if we can keep on doing this. If you hold LB, it'll be a slow pitch, but it'll be pretty accurate. Okay, that's our slow pitch way. If we tap it, it's gonna be faster, but it might not be as accurate, so it could like ruin your momentum when you're running. But it's a very, very, very easy way to just get some cheap yardage, and you can even build an entire scheme just around these things. Let me actually right here try to hand this ball off for once. Yeah, right there's a good handoff, and that's why it's so lethal, especially if you have a good running back, because you can just pound the ball like this, right? Boom. We'll just pound the ball, and this is fine. We're not even getting into the end of the options and the RPO read stuff. This is just straight, we're just hand the ball off. Right there, obviously not the right read, but it's okay. And then we can try hurdling somebody and get our player very worn and very torn. This type of throw is what makes placement and accuracy so powerful, and it's why the best players in the world use placement and accuracy as their main setting. So I want to be very clear here. I think Revamped is way easier and honestly does a pretty good job, even if you're not great at passing. Like, Revamped is much, much easier, but placement and accuracy is used by the best for a good reason. So I like this right here. If I'm using placement and accuracy, pass speed increase to small, reticle speed to 3. By the way, I use Revamped a lot, but I just want to showcase this. If you hold left trigger when you're passing, you get that little reticle that you see right there. That's going to let you get a super big pass lead increase and be able to thread the needle with the throw, okay? We go back to this again. Holding left trigger right as I'm about to throw the ball and then holding it all the way through, we can then use the left stick to push the ball in a certain direction. Right here, I'm not going to use left trigger at all. And notice, this gets played, right? That ball just got played. I'm not going to use left trigger at all again right here, right? We're just going to pass lead with the left stick. We're able to throw it, but just not the same, and actually gets KO'd. This time, I'm going to use left trigger right now. That's when I'm clicking it, and I'm passing it all the way up and out. And you see, we're able to barely thread the needle. That's the difference between revamp passing, I think, and placement and accuracy. It's not nearly as easy to thread the needle. Another good example of this is, let's see if we can actually get a similar idea to the right side of the field. This is just us beating cover 2, by the way. Let's thread the needle all the way up and out. Oh, that's close. That's close. Like, that is the difference, though. If we do the same thing, no left trigger, boom. Let's see, can we throw it? It gets picked off. That is the difference. Holding left trigger activates something called freeform passing, okay? And when you freeform, you just have way more control. Right there, we just missed the throw. That's one of the downsides of placement and accuracy. There's more likelihood for you just missing throws. Let's go back to left side. Boom, up and out, and we miss it again. Again, that is the downside to placement accuracy. Ideally, you blue all of your passes. Let's see if we can get that. No, we green this one. That's fine. There is a way to blue your passes on placement accuracy, if we can get it right here. I'm not, yeah, and again, I'm not even great at it. I use Revamp. I think it's way easier, and I hate missing throws like that. There we go. There's a blue. There's a blueberry, baby. Also, what I'm doing right now is one of the best ways to attack cover 2. Just getting like seams and streaks and stuff like up and outside of the cloud and outside of the half. But again, there's the downside of placement accuracy too. I almost never have throws like that. And just keep in mind, I am on Heisman right now. I'm not like trying to fool you guys by dotting up the CPU on freshman. But yeah, these would be my placement and accuracy settings if I wanted to use them. And I think, again, very high level. Like, if you're trying to win every single game and get as good as possible, use these. This is how the most elite passers in the world actually catch the ball. And there's a massive skill gap here. What we want to do is something called clicking on. So when the ball's in the air, we want to press B or circle. You can actually see me do it kind of right there if you just go back and watch my little fingers. When the ball's in the air, we want to do this because then we can attack the ball almost like it's a rebound, okay? So we go back to this right here. Boom. I actually am going to click on and then attack the ball a little bit. Now, if it's super tight coverage, I'm going to click on and then aggressive catch by tapping Y or triangle. If it's, on the sideline, let's see if we can actually wait a little bit longer. We might click on and then cut the ball off and possession catch. The reason we're doing this is, again, because we want to cut off the ball from getting too deep and getting closer to a defensive back. Now, wow, holy crap, that was awesome. Now, in this exact example that I'm doing right here, we have some space. Clicking on isn't the biggest end of the world. But something like this right here, if we don't click on, this can get picked off, right? Whereas if we do click on, let's see if I can actually undercut this ball. This is a pretty tough throw to make, but we'll see if we can actually get our hands on it. At the very least, I'm able to keep the DB from getting the pick. That is literally the difference between winning and losing just by clicking on. And a tight throw like that, I'm actually going to try aggressive catching. You see right there, I'm able to get it. I want to show another example really fast of me not clicking on. So right here, we are going to not click on. We're able to catch it, but like he's not attacking the ball super well, right? We want to do a great job of clicking on and attacking that ball, cutting it off underneath the zone defenders, or if it's man coverage, we can cut it off in front of the man coverage, make sure they just can't get their hands on it. And again, this is great for the sideline as well. You see just ever so slightly, I come down to the ball a little bit. Big difference between completions and incompletions and interception. Now, this next portion of tips are going to be things that almost really nobody talks about, but are going to make you an absolutely unbeatable College Football 25 player. Jet sweeps and touch passes are really, really good in College Football 25. And if you've played this game, you've definitely seen them. So I want to show you guys how to stop these. But first, I got to tell you how to just you just got to avoid this right here. So you have to avoid running defenses that have everybody on the line of scrimmage. Because think about it, right? If I run this defense right here, and we have, I don't know what my defensive ends just did, but we have everybody on the line of scrimmage, and then they run a touch pass, these middle backers right here can't do anything to help defend against the touch pass. Whereas if they were out like this, or even out wide, right, then they could actually play it. But imagine if they're in the gap, and we do this again right here, right? Let's do a touch pass. Look what happens to these middle linebackers. They just get stuck right there, basically. Maybe they shed to the outside, but they're not able to flow to the ball very well. So the first rule is that we either need to, if we're in like a double mug, we need to spread all our linebackers, which is right on the D-pad, up on the left stick. Or we just need to call formations that naturally have our linebackers out of the gaps, okay? That's going to be a great way just to start. Now, the next thing I like to do is that if I see a touch pass coming, let's watch what Clifton does right here. This middle linebacker right here. If I see this touch pass is coming, he's probably going to backpedal a little bit. And he's not really doing much on the play, right? Somebody else actually blew this up. Nice. So the point what I'm making right there is that the backside linebackers really don't do much, right? Again, Clifton right here, if we run this touch pass or the jet sweep to the left, he doesn't do anything. So instead, I want to user this guy. And if I see this touch pass, I actually want to cheat and get him involved. That's going to get an extra body to the ball carrier or to the ball side, which is going to make them, at the best, have to cut up like they did right there. And it's going to slow down this defense or this style of offense. So just by using a backside player, like in this case, it would be Moore, right? Because the jet sweep would be going to the right. Boom. Now we're going to be able to sweep across, and I'm actually just going to try to pick up this first down just for the sake of video. But we can sweep across and get an extra body there who wouldn't be there otherwise. Now, those two things, keep in mind, can slow down these touch passes a ton. But if you had to go one step further, I would do this, which is if I knew a touch pass was coming, I would tap RB or R1 on PlayStation and push the left stick towards the way it's going. So in this case, it's going to the left. So I'll show you. Let's go. Boom. Oh, touch pass. I shift everybody to the left. That is just going to help my defense get all the way out there and be able to blow up and be in a better position to defend this touch pass. And again, or jet sweep. So it's R1 or R1 on PlayStation, RB on Xbox, and then using the left stick to shift our entire defense. So it'd be something like this right here. Oh, I see the hand motion. Boom. Shift everybody. And that's just going to help a little bit. Then we get that swoop with our user, and we're able to help make a play and slow these bad boys down. If you've played college football online at all, you've seen this style of blitzing where someone just screams up the A-gap. It's very, very annoying. People do this from like double mug all the time. I want to show you guys how to beat it. You'll see this if you play in Online Dynasty. You'll see this if you play in College Ultimate Team, Road to College Football Playoff, whatever it is. You probably have seen this style of blitz. So let's set this bad boy up. It's going to be out of double mug. And then to beat this, I want to make sure I'm in shotgun, okay? And I want to call a play that has some sort of corner route on it. Now, we could hot route a corner, or we could call inside switch right here. This is that the idea here is applicable to like any formation or any playbook, okay? Now, what we want to do is block our halfback. So I was tapping wire triangle, tap it again, and then right trigger is going to block our halfback. Then we want to double team. That is holding left bumper. We're going to push down on the right stick, and we're going to put this little blue plus sign all the way over on the right side. Now, I'm choosing the right side right here because my quarterback is right-handed. If he was left-handed, I'd go to the left side. Now, if we snap this ball, watch what's going to happen. We can actually roll out on this style of defense. Think about it. This is A-gap pressure. If you've complained about this blitz, you've probably complained saying, man, they're just screaming up the A-gap. There's nothing I can do. So if that's the case, let's roll out on them, okay? And again, the way we want to do is block our halfback. Then we want to double team the end man on the line of scrimmage to the right. All right, that's going to help him get sucked inside. Now, keep in mind the route combo we have on the field right here. We have a corner route going to the side we're rolling out, and we have a backside in route going to the side we're rolling out. This is very important. If I had every route going to the left right here, okay, think about this, and I rolled out, even if I have somebody open, I can't make that throw. So we want routes going to the side we're rolling out to, right? This is a designed rollout play. It's one of the best ways to beat any kind of A-gap pressure, whether it's from this, whether you're playing Madden or college football or any year, this stuff works, all right? Now, some other things we could do is we could get some motion blocking happening here. So if we go and select a wide receiver by holding B or circle, push the left stick, you'll see I can select different wide receivers. Now, I could then push the D-pad to the left and motion him in. What he's going to do is help block the edge. And you see right there, we're able to motion block. Now, we're able to hit that backside in route. Ideally, you have a mobile quarterback for this, right? Whenever you're trying to beat a blitz, you always want somebody fast. But this is one of the best ways that you could possibly beat this style of blitzing. And again, just to showcase different things we could do this from, let's go into normal Y off close right here. And let's just call, in this case, let's go, I'm looking for a play with like a corner route. We'll go escape. We'll do the same thing. Now I'm actually going to block my tight end, and I'm going to put Y on a slant, right? Just trying to attack that right side a little bit more. Now let's double team. Bang, they get pressure off the right side. Who cares? We make the throw. We miss the throw. But you guys see the idea. Rolling out is going to buy us time. Then it's just about hitting these throws that we know we can make. Let's do it one more time. Let's end it on a good pass. Roll out, roll out, roll out. We got Y, make the throw. Bang. That's going to force him to get out of this. This is a route that everybody needs to be running, but I feel like really nobody is too much. This is a custom stemmed corner route, and we're custom stemming this bad boy all the way down. So what we want to do here is press Y or triangle, select our receiver icon. I'm going to do it with X. Go left on the right stick. That's going to get a corner route, and then go back to that same screen, and then hold LB and push the left stick all the way down. It's going to custom stem him down. This takes about half a second once you get the idea and the muscle memory of this, I promise. So then we snap the ball, and we're able to see he's going to get open very, very easily on that sideline. Now, there's a couple of rules that we want to do with this. First and foremost, I really like this out of tight or compressed sets. So right here, you see I'm in gun deuce close. I'm in Texas's playbook, although you could do this from pretty much every playbook. And we're in a tight set. Everyone's very compressed in. Next is I want to do this with the outside wide receiver to the wide side of the field. So in this case, the left side is the wide side because there's a bunch of grass to the left of us. And the right side is what I would call the short side of the field or the boundary, but I always call it the short side. And so we want to do it here to the left. And now we get that same custom stemmed corner route down. Let's go back to this and let's see. Now you might be seeing something kind of cool here, which is even in the worst case scenario, which I think is a great pass lead right there, this ball won't really get picked off. And then two, we don't actually need to put any routes to help this get open. Think about it. Usually post routes or corner routes or deep posts or zigs or something, they need routes around them to help them get open. This route doesn't. This route will get open totally on its own, which means we can have an entire route combo everywhere else on the field, right? Like this play right here is a solid route combo in the middle of the field. But then this corner route is going to help push the left side of the field, and you just got to make sure you get a good pass lead. That's probably the hardest part about this is being able to fit in the pass lead. But the value you get from this is insane if you can get this down. Right here, like you see me, I'm just able to almost... you can almost spam this thing, right? Like, they have to commit so many resources to it, and it's going to do a good job against man, zone, and match. And think about it. You also have other options on your play. You don't want to just hone in on that one guy, but that one guy is going to force the defense's hands so much that everything else gets open. So again, we want to custom stem a corner route to the wide side of the field with an outside wide receiver. Add that into your offense today, please. So I'll break down my game settings, and we're in the main menu here because this will do a full, this will give us access to all the different game settings we have. So let's scroll down, and the first one I actually care about is the coin toss. I want our coin toss first choice to be kick because I don't mind if they start on offense to begin the game because we get ball to begin the second half, which can be super advantageous for us. We can know whether we need to chew the clock, whether we need to score fast. It also gives us an advantage going into half because if we score a touchdown in the final seconds, we then get the ball out of half and can almost double dip the chip. Now, coin toss, second choice, I've always left this at default. I don't actually know what the best one here is, either with wind or against it. I'm just keeping it with wind. You might know better than me. Control scheme for the kicking, I just use the tap and hold. That's the basic one. I have success doing this. Wear and tear is going to be on. That's for offline, or that's more so for offline play if you want to customize that. Passing mechanics, I want revamp passing. I like placement accuracy in Madden a lot. I don't love it as much in college football. I feel like I personally miss a lot of throws. This is very much a preference thing, so I'm only going to tell you what works for me in online play. This is revamp passing, passing slow on off, pass lead increase to none, reticle speed to 20, and then user and user. Feel free to screenshot it. Again, this is what works for me. You might have something that you prefer. That's awesome. Heck yeah, brother. Gameplay helpers. I want auto flip defensive play call always on. That's actually a coaching adjustment too. We're going to keep that on. Defensive ball hawk is going to be on. This, like some of these things are almost like a little bit placebo. But I want this on because it feels like it does help my defensive backs get into position to make picks. This actually should be on, but it likes to reset on itself or on me all the time. And so defensive heat seeker assist, I have this on and turned to 200%. This is going to help our or our defenders when we click onto them automatically steer a little bit more towards the ball carrier. And a lot of people, like, I think this starts at 100% at default, but you can go all the way up to 200. You could go to 10. Again, maybe play around with this a little bit. This is just what I do. Switch stick delay should be at slight. And I do want to mention again, like, these will randomly reset on you. So just keep that in mind that you might have to go in every once in a while. Let's go defensive switch assist. We'll also put that on. That's going to help make sure when we switch assist or when we switch stick, it's going to be just a smoother experience. Make sure you are switch sticking. And controlled player I have this on as well because this is going to allow me to see what the assignment is of the player that I'm using or controlling at any time. Now, if you've ever played online, you've probably played against somebody who's an absolute seaman demon, whether it's your buddy in an online CFM or you're just playing, Road to Football College Playoff. You have seen this style of play before, but there's a really easy way to take this away. I'm actually going to give you two different ways, but the first one is really, really easy. And on defense, what we want to do here is actually call play, ideally from like a nickel set. So we're in nickel right now. It doesn't really matter which, but this is a concept. We're going to scroll down and find a play with like cover 3 match, okay? The reason we want this is because we actually have what's called seam flats on the field. These seam flats will match on to any kind of deep seam route. So you see we have one right here on the left side and on the right side as well. If we snap this play right here, watch what the seam flat does. On the left side, he does a really good job of playing it, and it gets picked off. He just matches up with it. Very simple, very basic, and a lot of these dudes who just want to snap through the seams really will struggle against this, right? It's either going to be a pick or an incompletion or the tightest window literally ever. We can do it on the right side here as well. That's also going to get played pretty well. Like, he's all over it. Easiest way, you got to make sure you have match on for this, which basically just means don't shade your coverage and don't have any kind of zone drops on, okay? So to keep that in mind, if you wanted to, you can put your shell at cover 2 so they don't know you're in cover 3. See what I'm saying? Now we can disguise our coverage. The next easy way to do this, in my opinion, is we could do the same idea of calling a cover 3, but say we wanted to call a cover 3 hard flat. Now here, let's go to our seam play. If we just press Y or triangle and then shade our coverage over top, bang, we're going to get these hook curls to play kind of deep, okay? So especially this hook curl right here is going to play kind of deep. And then I would be using the other one looking to help in the other seam. So we go here, you're going to see that left or that right seam is a much harder throw. Now, super deep down the field, you're still able to make that throw, which kind of is because this guy's rotating over from so far. So in this case, let's do it again. And same thing with the coverage shell. Boom, we try to throw the seam. Now he's not open, and that hook curl did a good job. So just keep that in mind. Shading your hook curls over top, right, by pressing Y or triangle up on the right stick, can do a really, really good job against some of these seam routes that become very, very popular for people to throw just nonstop, and it's very tough to defend. Now, you do have to keep in mind, if you're going to defend, like, if you're going to have a hook curl defend one seam, I highly recommend using the other seam. Your user needs to be doing something on every single play of defense. So if we're defending the right seam, we have to go user the left seam. So if they throw it, it's a very tough throw, and they have to force it way too far like they did right there. So let's say there's a situation where we only want to send 3 people at the quarterback. Now, let's say that's like they're passing and we just want to play full coverage. A huge mistake I see people have is that they leave these defensive ends in contains. And the fact of the matter is contains just won't shed. You can see them right here. They don't shed. The only way they will is if I like roll out into them a little bit. So maybe in this situation, you might get interior pressure from the defensive tackle, but that's it. Instead, what you want to do is push the left stick to the left, or I'm sorry, the D-pad to the left, and then down on the right stick. That's going to make them slant inside and get off of these contains. So again, really the rule of thumb here is that if you want to get 3-man sheds, they just can't be in contains. Now, one of the things that can help quite a bit with this is simply blitzing your user on top of that. So let's do that here, where we're going to slant our defensive line down, left on the D-pad, right, or down on the right stick. Then we're going to blitz our user, which is just A or X, and then down the right stick. So it looks like this right here. Now, you don't 100% need to blitz your user to get sheds with setting 3, but you can see right there, it's going to help trigger it. The difference between that and the contain that we had earlier is massive, right? And that's how you want to send 3. We want to blitz our user, bang, and we're able to get that shed off the right side right there. Now, I do want to point out, in Madden, you have to blitz your user pretty much. In College Football 25, you don't have to, although I do think it can help a good amount. You see, we actually get some sheds in the middle and up the left side. So I think it helps, but you don't 100% have to blitz your user. That is how, though, we're going to get pressure sending only 3. And again, if you leave them in contains, they're not going to do too much. Even right there, that was more of a fluke than it was anything else. He literally didn't play his assignment because the assignment is a contain. We do this again. See, he's in a contain assignment. Guy on the right's in a contain assignment. Nothing's going on. Offense can easily dot you. So what I'm about to show you is actually like a massive find here. Okay, so let's look at this style of defense. This is a send everybody. We're going to be pressing, and we're going to shade underneath. So, like, all of our guys are going to get, like, pressed and jammed at the line of scrimmage. Watch my slot wide receiver here. When we snap this ball, he gets jammed. He doesn't really get open, and the blitz gets in there really fast. It's a very frustrating style of defense to play against. You've probably played against it. Now, what we can do here, actually, is let's first block our halfback. That's the number one thing we need to do. Then let's take our slot wide receiver, press wire triangle. Let's select him. And then we're going to put him on a curl route. That's down the left stick. Then I'm going to stem this curl route up. We can go all the way. Let's go all the way up. Now let's watch what happens right here, because this is where things get kind of crazy. Bang. You're going to see that slot wide receiver just runs right by that slot corner. It is a massive just thing in the game where it works. I don't know why this works. This probably should not work, but it does. It's an easy way to beat this style of defense where they're just sending everybody at you. You see, it's consistent. Now, how do you counter this? It's actually super easy, okay? All we want to do to counter it is if we are on defense and we press and we're running this style of defense, just press wire triangle and up on the right stick. That's going to shade your coverage over top. And now if we do the same idea on the left, or I'm sorry, on that slot wide receiver, same thing. Notice now, not there. Not open anymore. Easy counter to it, dude. I just want to show that to you guys because I know how frustrating it can be to play against like somebody who's running cover 0 and blitzing everybody and shading underneath. And it's just like, dude, this is just an easy counter to it. It's not OP to the point, and that blitz even came in. It's not OP to the point where they can't do anything about it. They could. They just have to know how to counter it, which I think is, that's kind of football, right? Like there's counters to counters to counters to counters. But, yeah, I just want to show that to you guys, and hopefully it's pretty helpful. I want to show you guys the #1 usering mistake I see all the time. Does anybody know what I just did wrong right there? Any ideas? Anything like that? Right now, we are in a cover 3, and I am currently using the hook curl on the left side of the field. I highly recommend you user these yellow zones, these hook curls, okay? Now, I know that I have help coming from this guy right here, right? He is in this area. I am responsible for this area, right? So if they were to run double slants like this, why would I ever carry this slant all the way over? That makes no sense because it's just going to leave my area wide open. What instead we want to do is be aware of where our help is. This is the most easy, like this is super basic. Anybody who gets torn up over the middle of the field, I promise you this is probably why, because I get sent footage all the time, and this is almost always the answer. Instead, we want to be here, we're here, oh, now we're here. And now if they try throwing it, our user is in that area. Now, we do have flexibility with our user, right? Where if we know we have a weakness in our defense, we can go help in that area. So right here, let me show you an example of that. I know in this defense I'm weak to the top left. I know that, right? Especially like the left, like for a corner route. So I might user in that area. Oh, corner route? Okay, now we're going to go in that area and try usering. Okay? So you have flexibility with your user. You just want to make sure you're taking away the areas of the field that actually need to get taken away and not just going to where you already have help where it just doesn't even matter at all, okay? The same idea would be, let's say we have a hard flat on the left side, okay? Boom, we have hard flats to the left. Oh, I'm going to go user this guy? No, why would you? That leaves your whole area of the field open. Know your assignment. Be willing to help out in different areas of the field that are weak, but don't go user an area of the field that's already being taken care of because that flat route already has a hard flat all over it, and you're leaving your area wide open to get dotted up. This is the best way to avoid the annoying kick return touchdowns that can just like totally ruin your momentum. We're going to select kickoff left right here, and then we'll go up against kick return left as well. Okay, Let's then point the left stick all the way to the left, and we're just going to try to get good power and good accuracy. It doesn't really matter a ton. This is a method that just works. Then we're going to try to loop with one of our guys outside and loop with one of our guys inside. This is going to create a funnel. So we're going to do that again. Kick off left. We're going to kick all the way to the left, right? Try to get good power, good accuracy, all that good stuff. Select one of our kickoff guys, get him outside. Select one of our other guys, get him inside. And it's simple as that. We're just creating a funnel where he can't break to the outside, and he's not going to be able to break to the inside. This has been incredibly successful for me numerous years in a row. This works in Madden and college football. And the only real risk here is if he just makes a ton of, he'd have to make numerous people miss, just straight up. And if he breaks a lot of tackles, that's just football, baby. But we're going to actually get our guys in position to where even if they get blocked, they're just going to funnel everything inside. Bang, bang. Right there, I didn't do a great job of getting that loop inside. So we'll do it one more time just to show it. This really is a difference maker, at least for me, I feel like, because you don't want to give off these kick return touchdowns. Bang, bang. And just to select players or to switch players, you just tap in B or circle. Let's paint the situation right here. I'm down 9 points, and there's just over 2 minutes left in the first half. Now, big thing to keep in mind is that I get ball at halftime. So what should I do right here? Should I take a shot play, just trying to cut this lead as fast as possible? No. Instead, I should actually try to score my touchdown underneath 30 seconds left in the game clock. That is the ideal thing. Ideally, as close to 0 as possible in the game clock. Because if I score right here, UCF could be aggressive and just go match my score, and it's like it never even happened, really, right? Whereas instead, I could go score a touchdown, not give them any time to answer back, really, and then think about that. I get ball at half. So what then? I could actually take the lead without UCF really ever having a chance to answer back on us. Now, ideally, wow, I just got a flag. That is disgusting in this situation. What's the flag, sir? Oh, that hurt. I can't lie. That hurts. That really does hurt. We're going to go on 2nd and 19 now. But I hope this makes sense because this is genuinely a massive thing that loses a lot of people games because they don't have a good understanding of how to manage the clock correctly. So let's go right here. We're on 2nd and 19. Clock is not moving. I genuinely need to gain some yards right here. So we're just going to go underneath to our halfback. And cool. We'll get our gain of 6 or so. I'm still going to keep the clock chewing right here, okay? I'm still going to do that. This isn't the worst situation ever. 3rd and 13. I'm confident we could pick this up. I'm going to block my halfback, though, do a little bit of this route combo. I'm not going to chew clock, though. We could manually chew it. I'm just not going to in this situation. And let's go Y. We have Y wide open. Guess what? I don't want the touchdown there. And actually, that's an example of things not going as great as they could have because now our opponent, we actually got too many yards, basically. I'm glad that happened because this is a very real situation that can't happen. We got too many yards. So we need to make sure. I don't want to really score on 1st and goal right here, even though we are running low on time, so we could manually chew this all the way down. I don't want to score on 1st and goal. I need to start eating their timeouts if UCF will call them. So we ran this play clock all the way down to about 1. I'm just going to hand the ball off right here. Cool. Do we get our yards? Awesome. We do. And now UCF, the CPU won't actually call timeouts here. If it was a user, you definitely should be calling timeouts because you want to make sure you get a chance to get the ball back on offense and answer back, right? Now, I'm just going to play offense right here, right? Because we're underneath 25. I'm around my goal of where I want to be. Now let's just do this. See, can we score an easy touchdown? We can. You could maybe make the argument to go down right there. I wouldn't, though. But now think about the situation we just gave ourselves. We are giving UCF the ball back with only 19 seconds. They shouldn't be able to do anything with that. We get ball at a half, meaning that we can take the lead before they ever get a chance to do a real drive again. This is massive in a big area where a lot of people lose close games. Now, we got to stop doing these things, man. This is why, so many people, they think they just don't know things, and that's why they lose games. But instead, it's because they make massive mistakes. We're going to break down a bunch of them that you have to stop doing if you want to win more games. Just stop doing these, and you're going to start winning. I get sent clips all the time of people throwing what they think is an open receiver, only for the ball to get swatted away, or even worse, picked off. Now, let's showcase what this looks like, right? Oh, RB looks open. We throw it. Now he's no longer open, and that's an easy pick. But I'm going to do absolutely nothing different on offense and defense here, and this time it's like a really easy reception. And we can even show that again. It's going to be an easy reception again, even though the first 2 times they weren't. So what's the difference here? What am I doing differently? I am doing what's called pass leading, okay? Pass leading is simply by using the left stick when you're throwing the ball to push the ball in a certain direction. And so here, where do we want to push this ball? We want to push it away from the defense. So in this case, we're going to go down and to the outside. Let's go here again. Boom. Down and outside where only my receiver can get it. Again, let's show this with no pass lead because this is a massive difference, I feel like. Let's go here. Bang. Picked off, swatted, whatever. What happens if we pass lead this incorrectly? What if we pass lead it, let's say we go up on this? Well, that could be really, really bad. That could be a pick. So pass leading correctly can be the difference between an interception or a 10, 20, 30, 40-yard laser. And the easy way to know where you should be pass leading is just simply you want to pass lead away from where the defense is, where you have open grass, right? Where only your wide receiver can get it. And again, that's all with the left stick. So right there, I've been pass leading down and outside consistently. But what if we played against a defense that gave us above and outside? So right here, no reason to go down. Let's actually go above and inside, right? Because we didn't need to go down and outside. Let's do this right here. And let's showcase me actually throwing this streak to Mortimer. A. Let's go here. Can we hit him? If I want to throw him, I got to pass lead him all the way inside, right? If I do that same thing with no pass lead, that ball's not going to go inside. It's probably going to get played or picked off by that deep defender. Pass leading is literally the difference between scoring touchdowns and getting stopped often. Rosters in college football are deep. And a lot of times the people that are just stock on the field are not always the best players. What I highly recommend you do is go into your coaching, go into your depth chart, and look for any hidden gems. A really good example of this is on Texas. If we look at our free safeties, we actually have this guy who is a 96 speed. He's 6'1", but he's only a 77 overalls, and he's third on our free safety depth chart, meaning he doesn't play ever except for like kickoff. You need this guy on your field. Like, he needs to find a way on the field. Whether it's him literally taking over that starting safety job, which maybe I wouldn't do at the free safety spot, but let's see. Maybe we could do it at the strong safety spot. Or maybe in this case, we get him and we actually sub him in at, let's go sub linebacker, right? Because our sub linebackers right now, one of them's 83 speed. Well, even though Fosame, I don't know how to pronounce his name, I apologize. Fosami? I really don't know. Please correct me in the comments. But you take this guy, now he's playing, speed is king, and now you're able to take advantage. Another fun one is if you have a absolute like stud of a wide receiver, like let's say somebody like Isaiah Bond. What if we put him at corner too? You gotta keep in mind like wear and tear for this, but he can play corner very, very well. And you'll see this at a bunch of different positions, right? Especially if you have somebody who's super slow, I highly recommend you get them off your field unless they're at like defensive tackle. Then it's kind of who cares. But you know, these little hidden spots, it's like, especially at like left end 2. Who would you rather have? Justice Finkley or Colin Simmons, who's left end 3, but he has 6 more speed and he has the silver badge of quick jump, which is really good. At the very least, you'd want him as your first backup, right? So always make sure you're subbing in the correct people. Really good example of this too is at the halfback spot here, or actually, so Baxter, before he tore his ACL, he was the running back 1. But in game, I would actually rather have Blue here because he's faster and even has pretty much the same abilities. So it's just a speed thing right here. I would absolutely have him here. Let's see, what do we have at wide receiver? Wingo, he's 96 speed. Maybe he doesn't overdo bold. Maybe he does. I don't know. Somebody like it's a serious thing that you really want to consider putting Wingo, maybe getting him at your slot wide receiver, maybe getting him at your second wide receiver, something like that. Don't just let the guys who are deep in your depth chart just go without even looking at them, because there's a lot of hidden gems on like every single team at some position. This is a mistake that everybody who plays Dynasty, Cut, Road to College Football Playoff, whatever it is, I see so many people make this mistake, and I've actually already made it. So where did we go wrong here already? We called our play from coach suggestion. Now, let me explain why I don't like coach suggestions and why I'd much rather you call your plays from formation, concepts, or play types. And this actually relates very closely to real football, where in real football, coaches don't just call plays from a random list and that they have no idea what they're calling, right? Coaches in real football do a great job of stringing together plays, of building concepts and building plays off of one another. So right there, you saw we were in 5 wide, but if we go here again, we actually, in the entire list, don't get an opportunity to call this 5 wide ever again. Meaning that we don't get the chance here to build off of that 5 wide look at all. Whereas if we go over here to formation, and again, I don't care if you call single back, I-form, shotgun, whatever it is. Let's say we go to I-form Pro Power O right here. Let's run this play to the right side. Boom, easy, cool. We get some nice yards, right? 4 or 5, whatever. Now let's say either the next play or a couple plays later, we're going to call this play action PA Power O. This is building a scheme. This is stringing plays together, which is something that the best offensive minds in football do. They don't just call plays at total random. And now here we're able to build a play off of that play we had just previously called. And if we wanted to, we can take it a step further where now we're going even deeper into this formation or building around play or other formations that look similar. Calling coach suggestions, look, we have nothing that's going to build off of that. This is just a random collection of plays. We want to avoid this and call plays that we can build off of and that we are comfortable with. I'm on my hands and knees begging people to stop doing this, okay? And it's called usering your defensive line. We have to stop using our defensive line. I'm going to break down who we want to user in every single style of defense. But the reason for this, let's first talk about why we don't want to use our defensive lineman. Is because this guy just doesn't force turnovers, right? Best case scenario, maybe you get a quick win, like we did right there, and we're able to force a sack. If you could do that consistently, maybe slight value. But I'll tell you what there's even more value in, and it's being able to do this right here, which is called baiting, okay? So they snap the ball, boom, we go over. Now we're able to go and actually get a turnover. Your user defender has so much versatility where he can go all the way to the left side of the field, he can go all the way to the right side of the field, or he could stay in the middle and easily be able to start taking away routes that are going to force turnovers. And your CPU linemen are going to do a good job of shedding anyways, right? They're still going to shed at a decent clip just like you would if you were usering them. Now, the next position that we want to totally avoid, right? We don't want to be on a defensive lineman, but we want to avoid, for the most part, any kind of deep blue, okay? And so what I mean by that is really just any kind of deep zone. So right here, we would have also like Collins on the left side. We'd have Bamba on the right side. And the reason for this is just it's easy to get too aggressive like we do right here. And oops, I actually got too aggressive. And we're just going to give up a 1-point touchdown. It's just very high risk for not much more reward than we would just using somebody in the middle. So now, who do we want to user then? If we don't want to use the deep blues, and we really don't want to user the guys pass rushing, well, in zone coverage, I like to user the middle linebackers who are in the yellow zone. Now, sometimes this could be a safety in a yellow zone. That works. It could be a defensive lineman in a yellow zone. That works. It could be, you just want to get these guys who are in these yellow kind of hook curls right here. That's who. Because even if we mess up right here, right, we get too aggressive. Oh, they just get us for that. That's much better than being too aggressive and letting up the 1-point touchdown. But we still get the versatility of, oh, shoot, I'm too aggressive. But we can work back. And now we're able to still get that interception. And then, let's say this, where we see they're not attacking our area at all. Right? We're hanging out in the middle. Oh, he's going corner route? Well, now we're able to get all the way up here. And we're able to get a swat. See the value in that? But what about in man coverage? Who do we want to use there? Well, it depends a little bit on the type of man coverage that we're running. So if we go here and call a cover 1 hole, you have 2 options. I'll give you 2. 1, you could user the guy manned up onto the halfback. Or 2, you could user the yellow zone right here, right? Cover 1 hole, cover 1 robber always has one of these yellow hook curl zones in the middle of the field, typically a 3-rec, who you could user him. Now, what about if it's just straight man-to-man with no kind of yellow zone? What if it's something like this right here, where we have cover 2 man? There's no yellow zone in the middle of the field. Well, here, I would actually just user the guy manned up onto the halfback. Easy. Or we could take one of our linemen and zone them out and do this. And now we're able to accomplish kind of that same goal, but now we're using, we have the halfback manned up to, and now we're just only sending 3 people with the user in the middle of the field. Very easy. What about for a cover 0? Who do we want to user? Cover 0 is probably the toughest, and this guy is definitely going to be using on the halfback. I'm telling you, this will help you force more turnovers, get you more stops, and ultimately win you more games. The biggest mistake you make is sitting on your defensive lineman for the entire game. You don't want to do this. So a lot of people lose games before they ever play them because they just have the wrong gameplay settings. So let's go into our options. Let's go into our settings. And I'm going to talk about what I like to have on, why I like it, and just give basic recommendations for what works for me. So first and foremost, passing mechanics. I really like revamped passing on college football. In Madden, I like placement accuracy, but college football, I like revamped passing. Passing slowdown is going to be off. I think pass lead increase can be none with reticle speed to 20. Now, if you are somebody who wants placement accuracy, you want a little bit more control over your throwing, what I would do here is actually put this all the way down to about 7, and then you can go none or you can go small right here. You kind of have to feel it out. It could definitely be a very preference-based thing, but I'm a big fan of what we have right here. Keep in mind, sometimes your settings will just reset on you, I feel like. Like, that happens to me quite a bit, and we actually see that right here where I want auto-flip defensive play call on. That's a coaching adjustment as well. Defensive ball hawk, we want on. Defensive heat seeker assist we want on with the heat seeker window size to 200%. I believe that this helps you a lot with actually steering towards making the tackles and not just like totally missing tackles. So we want these right here all on. Switch stick delay, I want this to be slight. And I'm actually like undecided with defensive switch assist of what I totally want. I've had this on and had like weird like hit sticks after I switch stick, and then I've also had it off and had that happen. So I don't have a recommendation on that actually. I'm gonna say like I personally, if I was a player right now, I'd put it on, but I need to actually keep messing with this and get a better idea. But that's overall the settings I like, and I think these make a massive difference between winning and losing. So many people get in this situation in this game where they get a one-on-one kind of jump ball opportunity and they just throw it up. And the fact of the matter is that you just can't really do that in college football 25. Like, even if you have a matchup advantage, even if you have a one-on-one, something like that, these lobs on streaks I see so many people do just almost never work out. They're oftentimes picks or at the very least an incompletion, and so you're just wasting a down that is incredibly valuable. You have to take advantage of every single down in this game. We're going here. Again, another incompletion. I'd much rather you focus on the route combo that the streak is clearing out for rather than the actual streak itself, because it's almost never actually open. Now, a situation where it could be a good throw is, let's say this right here, where if we watch 11 on the right side on this fade, he's actually going to get a step. If you have a step and you're over top, you can make the argument to make this throw. Even there, we drop it. But if you actually have a step over top, you can make it. But if you're just throwing a 50-50 jump ball, it's just typically going to end poorly. Watch us catch this right here. Dang. No, we didn't. The one time you can start throwing these streaks, though, is I like streaks in the seam. So like this right here from McMillan, I love a streak route from him. And, you know, let's see if we can kind of fit him. We throw him outside. You could throw him in the seams. That's a tougher throw. But like, you've probably seen like trips tight end people or like gun spread, stuff like that, throw streaks in the seams. That's okay. But the jump balls to the sidelines are just things we need to avoid. All right, situation for you here. We're on defense. I'm using Parham, and we have the hook curl on the left side. Keep in mind, we have help to the left of us with a hard flat, and we have help to the right of us with a hook curl, okay? Now, let's watch this play, and you tell me, where do I go wrong right here? Hut, we're here, we're looking, and they throw the ball, and it is a dot. Where did we go wrong? It's very simple. We usered an area that was already being defended by a CPU defender, right? Let's watch it back. We defended A. A already has somebody right on him, so why would we ever go there? You're allowed to leave your zone area, right? You can leave this hook curl. But what we can't do is go user an area that's already being defended. Like right there, we went to the flat. Why would we do that? Instead, against this route combo, what I would actually do is something like this. We're chilling. Oh, now we're working up. Something like that, that's actually going to work and help our defense, right? I see so many people get picked apart in the middle of the field because they're trying to user, but they're using an area that's already defended, which is unnecessary. If I put a streak on the left side of the field here, right, and we have a deep zone on the left side of the field, would I go user the streak? No, that wouldn't make any sense. And that's the same thing that's happening in the middle of the field. Know your assignment, but then know where you guys are weak as well, right? Because you might have to carry this slant, right? He's in your area, I actually need to carry him all the way across the field because I don't have any help in that intermediate left. That's okay. But what is not okay, and a huge mistake, is that people will go do something like this and go, and actually, I don't know what just happened to my hook curl on the right there. But they'll go and user an area. There we go. They're gonna go user an area that's already being defended, and we just can't do that. It's a waste of our user. You might as well be on a D lineman at that point. I feel like whenever I watch one of these videos, people always talk about adjusting on defense and all that, and some people adjust, and some people adjust way too much. What you never want to do is overreact with your adjustments. And what that means is go from a defense that looks like this to they get 2 or 3 good plays on you in a drive, which by the way is just football. They have an offensive scheme. And then you do something crazy like, I don't know, all this crazy stuff. Like, there we go. Like, so many people do stuff like this, and it's just you're doing so much. And honestly, you're probably still going to let up the exact same throw anyways. Like, it might not even matter. Like, when you do too much, you just don't know what's on the field. What I'm a huge advocate of is whatever your base defense is, right? We talked earlier about making sure we call play calls not out of coach suggestions, but out of something that we actually like. So let's say this is our base defense. It's the defense that we like. Instead of making all these crazy adjustments, let's instead, I'm a stupid man, let's dumb things down. And from here, let's say, oh, they keep on, let's say the situation is they keep on throwing this out route. Okay, let's just say that's the situation. They keep on throwing this out route. We're going to pretend he was open, okay? Instead of being something crazy, let's actually just take our defense. And what if we just tried usering that player, right? What if we tried just going here? Oh, they're attacking this area. I'm going to user him. Now, again, pretend that was the situation. Now we're able to take away a route that they want to throw against us that we couldn't take away before. Or what if the adjustment we made was simply man the guy up, right? Tap A on somebody, up on the right stick, and then select the person. So bang. Right? You don't need to make a bunch of adjustments. Anybody who tells you that you need to make crazy adjustments, they are wrong. You need to have a base defense. That could be something as simple as this, and then work from that. Make minor adjustments around that. And that is stuff that is personally, literally has helped me stop the best offensive players in online play for thousands of dollars. Like, this is the exact strategy I've used. Have a base defense, make minor adjustments around the base defense. If you are ever in a situation where you're like, man, I don't even know what I just did on the field. I just went crazy with all my crazy adjustments. You're about to give up a touchdown. I promise you. I've done it a million times. Making sure people don't get a bunch of yards after contact is massive. But what I see all the time is so many people go for so many hit sticks. And we just have to relax on them because hit sticks are going to result in more missed tackles. Hit sticks are going to result in more just broken tackles, which means more yards after contact, which turns a 2-yard run into a 5-yard run. A 10-yard catch into a 20-yard catch. Instead, what I highly recommend people do for tackling, and again, hit stick has its place, so does the strip bun, but what I recommend more so, and right there they actually make us miss bad, is we want to hold X for a dive tackle, or A, which is going to give us a little bit more of a wrap-up. Only times we want to hit stick somebody is when we're really able to line them up. See right there, I totally missed the hit stick, and it just results in way more yards for him, right? The hit stick is just hard to line it up. And there's also not a ridiculous amount of reward for it. So instead, I'd rather see us try making A tackles. That's going to help a ton, along with X tackles, which is going to be the dive tackles. That's going to help so much. Now, if you get an opportunity where someone stood up or something, or you get a direct line on them, hit stick by flicking the right stick up. But if you don't have this, right? If you don't have that, stay away from the hit sticking. Now, this is one of the biggest things that people get told wrong all the time, and it's that you have to step up in the pocket. That is true. Like, you do need to step in the pocket sometimes. But if they're sending interior pressure at you, right, where there's pressure coming up the A gap, coming up the B gap, then walking back isn't necessarily wrong, right? And it makes sense. If they're sending pressure like this, I might have to take a few steps back to get that ball off. Had I stepped up right there, there's nothing I could do. So actually what happens here is that pocket presence depends on the pressure they're sending. If they're sending edge pressure, you need to step up, right? Like that right there, that's perfect. Ideally, we don't fumble, but you see the idea. If they're sending a blitz off the edge, we would also step up right there. Something like this, we can kind of stand still and navigate left to right. If they're sending pressure up the middle, though, it is okay to step back a few steps, right? To do something like this or shedding up the middle, you know, maybe we step back, then we're able to throw it. That is fine because that's going to buy us time. If they're getting pressure up the middle and we simply just step up, right? Like, this is not what we want. We could buy ourselves more time by drifting a few yards back. That does not mean you walk all the way back. This is not acceptable. this is too far. You're going to get more inaccurate throws. The ball is going to travel in the air longer. So you're not like you want to step back. Rather, walking back is a tool you can use to negate interior pressure. And then the next thing we can do is actually roll out. So especially against like pass rushes that are going to the inside, we could do something like this where we snap the ball and then we're looking to actually try to roll out to give ourselves a little bit more time against the interior pass rush and then actually give us better angles on some routes too. That's all done with the left stick. Right here, I would never step up against that. That's the best example ever. I would never step up. You got to step a few, you got to take a few steps back. You know what I'm saying? So against right here, like I have to drift a little bit and take a few steps back. Then it's about putting a good route combo down the field, right? You'll get a natural feel for pocket presence just as you practice it. I recommend just going to practice mode, try calling the plays that you like, right? Don't just do random plays like I'm doing. Do plays that you like, navigate the pocket against random defensive looks, and you'll get a better idea of it. Right there was a really good example of good pocket where we stood still, then we stepped up late to avoid the late shed. Now in this next portion, I got some stuff for you that I honestly probably shouldn't be sharing in a video like this. These are secrets that literally nobody else knows. So I have them right here for you. This passing tip will change your life once you understand it. We're looking for our outside wide receiver right here, and we get picked off underneath by Will Johnson. This route is open, though. We can throw this, but you just can't throw it normally, right? A lot of people try bullet passing, or maybe you want to try a lob pass right there. Well, a lob pass just takes too long to get there. But watch what happens right here if I do almost everything exactly the same. Just this time, we're going to get into a spot where Will Johnson actually can't make a play on it. Now, he knocks it out, but he's not able to actually get his hands on the ball. Watch it this time. Let's go back to it again. This time, we actually are able to catch it. What are we doing that's different? We are highballing. This is one of the most underused things in the game every single year, and it's a massive, massive, massive difference. See, again, he's not able to make a play on this ball. To highball, all we want to do is hold the left bumper or L1 on PlayStation. With a high ball, I like to do a bullet pass as well. Keep in mind, you can do this on revamped, or you can do this on placement and accuracy. I prefer placement and accuracy for it, but you can do it on either of those settings. Now, with high balling, you gotta keep in mind, it could be inaccurate, or you might just get a little bit worse of an animation that drives you out of bounds. But notice, he has not made a play on this ball yet. Whereas here, I'm gonna go back to the normal bullet pass, and he's picking that ball off. By the way, we are on Heisman difficulty. We are using TCU against the best corner in the game. Highballing makes all of the difference in the world. Now, if you're wondering when should you be highballing, it's a great question. That's what you should be wondering right here. It's really whenever you have a wide receiver or a defender right underneath a receiver, okay? So another example might be, let's look for our Y receiver right here on this cross. He's gonna have some linebackers underneath him. Well, if we just throw this, like we could throw that, right? But those linebackers underneath it make it a little scary. So instead, let's actually highball him, right? Because now we're able to put him in. Those linebackers can't make a single thing on him right now, right? They can't make a play on him at all. So let's go back to it here. This is no highball, right? That's, again, you could throw that. Like, we're actually able to throw it here, but that's a scarier throw, right? Why would you want to do that when you could get the ball up high and those linebackers have no chance of making the play? See what I'm saying? Just because you're over top of them and you're highballing it, they can't do anything. This is one of the most underused things in the game. Let's go highball again right here. You have people underneath. You want to highball. You don't want to touch pass. You don't want to lob pass. This is how the best passers in the world are able to fit the ball into super, super, super tight windows consistently and avoid interceptions, which will lose you games. Learn how to highball. Practice highballing, and I promise you, once you're good at it, you're going to be a much, 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 much better passer. Okay, so you've probably played somebody online doing something like this, or this is you, where they just roll out with their quarterback every play, throw corner routes, throw it across their body. Really, really annoying, especially with a fast quarterback, right? So the counter to this, a lot of people already know. It's simple. All you want to do on defense is press RB or R1. That's going to bring up this screen. And then press RB or R1 again. And you're going to get quarterback contains from your outside pass rushers. You can see these angles right here from both of our defensive ends. This is going to keep us in the pocket, at least for the most part. You see right there, as long as that defensive end's an athlete, you just can't really outrun him at all. And if you sit in the pocket, you kind of see how these guys keep their outside shoulders free. Very, very tough. And then you get interior pressure. You probably think you just can't roll out anymore. Cool. Well, here is a counter to the quarterback contain. And by the way, I'll show you the counter to the counter as well. What we want to do here, if we know our defender is containing us consistently, we want to roll out. We're going to hold left bumper. we're going to go down on the right stick. That's going to activate our double team pass protection. And then from here, we don't have to touch anything, but we have this plus icon, right? See it? That means the guy who we're double teaming. Well, we want to double team the defensive end on the outside because from here, think about what's going to happen here. We're double teaming him. Can he stay in a contain if he's double teaming? No, it's much harder. Notice how there we're able to roll out a little bit, right? Now, he could shed to the outside, and he frequently will, especially like a good defensive end like we're going up against here. But he's not going to get that same crazy contain angle that he was getting before. Again, there's a massive difference between that and the contain that he was getting the previous couple of plays, right? We go to contain right here. This is no double team. Notice the massive difference. Like, that's massive, right? So simply by double teaming the end guy in the line of scrimmage, if we know they're containing, we can stop the contain, or at least slow that contain down, especially if you have a faster quarterback. Even that one, which was a pretty good, by the way, I'm gonna Heisman making that throw. That's crazy. But like if we have a faster quarterback like Michigan's Orgy, we could be able to get outside of him. Now there is a shed that can happen, but it's not the same contain that can happen consistently, right? Let's go here. Let's roll out. This time we're actually able to get easily outside of him and make this throw. So what's the counter to this then? Well, the counter to this is simply helping him get a better shed. So one, you want an athlete in this position, which Sawyer is. But two, if you know they're trying to roll out consistently and they're rolling out on your contain, you actually want to get leverage. So let's actually spread our defensive line here. Look how far out he is. Even if he gets double teamed right here, which he is, it's going to be very hard for him not to shed outside immediately, right? It's just like where he is. So that is a counter to the counter. I've showed you guys 2 counters in this one tip. And this is going to be massive for anybody who likes to roll out stuff like that. You see right here? Again, immediately being able to shed to the outside and simple, right? Whereas if you had him, let's say you had him all the way in here, right? And then he's in a contain. Well, he's going to really struggle being all the way in there. Actually, well, as he moved, we got off him as he moved out. But like, you can imagine how if he's moved all the way inside, he's going to really struggle being in contain. So a lot of people don't realize how much leverage actually plays a massive factor in all of this, right? You see right here, able to easily get outside him. And this time we're throwing across our body like an idiot. And then we're going to hurdle. Then we're going to hurdle. Because why not? Isaiah Bond is an absolute dog. Yeah, easy count. Make sure if you want to roll out, double team the contain. If you want to not get roll out on, and they're doing that, spread your defensive ends out. And it's going to be a lot harder to get outside them if they start out wider, right? Massive new feature that I think goes criminally underrated is that we can set our audibles in practice mode, and they save going into games. That works for cut, that works for dynasty, it works for road of college football playoff, whatever it is. So right here, if we're in our play call screen and we tap the left trigger, you will see we bring up our audible screen. These are the 4 stock audibles that come with any formation. Now, typically you'd have to set these before every single game on like your first play, basically. But now, let's say we want to put deep choice here. Let's go inside zone. Let's replace inside zone with read option. But then let's go over to wide bunch. And let's say we want to go inside zone. And I actually want the RPO trap alert screen. And then instead of all go, I actually want all curl. Sure, why not? This will transfer over to a game. I'm going to show you why this is actually really useful. So here we are at the line of scrimmage, and we don't even have to set our audibles. We have access to all the ones that we want. As you can see here, the gun wide bunch, we have the different ones. And in an offense like Tennessee, where we go no huddle a ton, this is actually even more useful. So let's go here. Let's pick up our nice gain of 9, 10, whatever it was. We're going to go no huddle. And then, let's say now, I just want to go immediately to the wide bunch. Now this, setting your audibles will allow you to have access to all the best plays in your playbook, while allowing you to also not have to set them every single game. You just set them once, right? That is wonderful. Now we're going back here. And you don't have to do this from no huddle, by the way. But let's say, for example, now, let's say this was another example of a play I wanted to call really badly, right? Let's say this is another one of my really good plays. Let's go to this. Now we have instant access to it. Go post route. Ugh. Oh, we dropped it. That was an example of another video, though, the click on ad catch. Really, really, really good. Setting your audibles seriously can help optimize your play calls, which will help you score more touchdowns, which means you win more. Set your audibles. Now, let's say you're in this situation in the red zone, right? And you know your opponent is probably going to be passing. They're around what I call the high red zone in college football 25 is like the 12 to the 5. That's really where you start feeling the effects of the shortened field in the video game. Not totally similar, not totally exactly the same as real life. I'm a huge advocate, for the most part, to call cover 3. I think cover 3 is a very good base defense for most people. I don't think it's good in the red zone at all because it's very easy to attack the seams. And if we just look at cover 3 right here, we only have 2 people defending the short middle of the field. So route combos like this in cover 3 get open really, really easily. Where we do something like this, hit this in route in that seam area, wide open, just hold on to the ball. It's going to be a touchdown, right? Everyone can see that. Now, your solution might be, okay, Civ Dog, I actually love cover 4 in this situation. And I think cover 4 is not a bad option. I've called cover 4 a lot in this situation, but I'll show you why I don't love it. Because, again, at most, we'll only have 2 people protecting the middle of the field, which is where a lot of people will just close their eyes and throw the ball. So we go to a route combo, again, like this. Let's bring this in route down just a tad. We go to route combo like this. Again, you're getting that same kind of seam area of the field open. They could flood the entire middle of the field as well. Just a lot of things they could do here that makes it hard to be in cover 4, right? Boom, tagging that seam yet again. You might be saying, okay, well, I actually will take these guys and put them into vert hooks, right? I'll put these safeties into hook curls. That's why I'm different. The issue I run into with this, and this can be a good adjustment, is that it can leave this open, right? You can get above them. What I like to do in the red zone, especially in the high red zone where I know they're going to be passing the ball, is go Tampa 2 or cover 2. They're going to play essentially the same for us, okay? Let's go to an offensive play, and let's call Tampa 2 right here. Now, coach adjustments-wise, as a very basic, just general guideline, you can go totally default on all of our zone drops. Then we're going to look like this right here. The reason I like this so much is that we are blanketing the middle of the field, which is where a lot of people easily will throw the ball. Let's run a route combo like this right here, which we ran earlier. Now we go to throw this. It's going to get picked off. Could easily get played. Okay? Let's say we want to throw the seam like we did here, like we did previously. We're just go right up that seam. Right, we're in trips. Hut, snap, throw the seam. High ball. Not able to throw that either. Okay? What if I tried going Texas route, backside in, something like this, right? Just something crazy. Well, this is also going to get blanketed. You might be able to get underneath. Right? You might be able to do that. That's just a hook zone. Like, that's where your user should be, relatively. But you're not able to attack the middle of the field very well. Let's go here. Bang. This becomes an incredibly tough throw, especially with the vert hooks there and your user in that area as well. The biggest area that you have to worry about with the cover 2 is the sidelines. This, though, is going to be the toughest throw to make as we go up top right here, and we're actually not able to fit it in that time. You could. I've seen it get fit in. It was right there. We're not able to. Cover 2, Tampa 2, whatever you want it. In this case, it's going to play identical. This is what you want to be doing when you're in these high red zone situations and make them have to check down underneath. And then if you wanted to, you could also put a hard flat out there. You get a little bit adjusty if you so choose, but you add this in with a quarterback contain, press right bumper, R1, R1 on PlayStation. Now we're going to keep the quarterback in the pocket. They can't do much. They have to kind of attack a very specific area of the field. And it's just like, if that's what the throws, if that's the type of throw they have to make in traffic, diving catch to be able to score on us consistently in the red zone, hell, like, heck yeah. That's a football play, brother. Like, great play offense. But we're going to make it very, very tough just by sitting in a very basic Tampa 2, cover 2 style of defense. Here's the situation, right? Your opponent's running the ball on you. You got to stop the run. Let's say it's 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, whatever it is. And you just know he's just pounding that rock on you, right? You're playing Michigan. This is one of the most underused and unknown things in college football 25. Now, right now, we're in cover 4. If we hold right trigger and B or X, you can see the run fits. You'll see in cover 4, our outside corners are not in run fits, okay? Cool. Whatever. Who cares? You'll see they're in outside deep zones as well. Watch what my outside corner does on the right. You're going to see he's going to backpedal, right? Then he comes down and makes the play. We spin him out because we're just an absolute dog. What if, though, if he's going to play, why did he backpedal? Let's just figure that out. Why did he backpedal? Because he's in a deep zone, right? That's why he backpedaled. What if he was in a hard flat? What would he do then? Let's see. That time, he actually widened all the way out, and he actually played like a contain. Like, he actually kicked that run all the way in, right? That is massive. That right there is absolutely massive. The point we're making here, the easy thing to take away from this, is that deep zones, if you put them in different coverage assignments, they'll play against the run differently. And I can prove this to you. Let's go to Tampa 2. Let's look at my deep safeties. Tampa 2 safeties never play the run. We look here, run fits, never do. Again, that's right trigger, hold X, B. I don't think you do this in-game, but in practice mode you could. Let's look at this. Let's watch my top safety on the right. He backpedals. Why'd he backpedal? He's in a deep half. He's playing pass run, right? So he's going to play pass first. This time, though, let's put him in a deep middle third. Oh, actually, let's audible Tampa 2. Let's put him in deep middle third. Let's see what he does, right? Now he backpedals into the middle. Why? He's in a deep middle third. Duh. What about this time, though? We have to stop the run. We're on 3rd and 2. We're going to put him in a hard flat. Okay? Now you're going to see him come all the way down. Now, he's actually playing pass first. It's just his pass assignment is the hard flat, so he's coming down super hard. Point we're making here is that when you have to sell it to stop the run, one of the best things you could do is actually take your deep zones, guys who aren't playing in the run fits. In cover 4, it's going to be your outside corners. In cover 2, it's going to be your high safeties. In cover 3, it's going to be your high corners and your singular high safety. Super pro tip. In cover 3, if you're going to do this, I like to user this guy, and then we can even hard flat both our outside corners. Again, like this, I wouldn't super recommend doing this unless you are super selling out for the run. But there are situations where you know you're going up against a run play. So from here, look who made the play on the outside. The outside corner did. He came down hard and set the edge. Whereas if we do that same thing again. Same thing again. Outside corner, backpedal first. You can still play good run defense like this, but you're just getting another hat away from the ball carrier. Whereas if you hard flat him, or if you quad flatted him if you wanted to, if you even manned him up, let's man this guy up. Let's man up the tight end. Now he's coming down. You see he actually sucks up a block, gets another one of our men free, able to make a tackle. One of the easiest things you can do when you have to sell it for the run is get your deep zones involved in the run. Because 4th and 1, why would we keep this guy in the deep blue? If you know they're running, right? You could. Now, could they get you and pass over the top for a 1-play touchdown? Sure. That's where your user gets a chance to recover, right? Your user has to be paying attention to that to recover to defend where he's leaving from. And that's just football, right? Like, that's just chess. Good for them if they call a great play. I'm serious. This is something that has saved me numerous times, is getting the extra guy. Because even right there, the outside corner pushes that run back inside to where my user can make the tackle. Massive stuff run defense-wise. So if you ever watch college football or the NFL on TV, you'll hear the term complementary football thrown around a ton. And this is where the 3 phases all help each other out, right? Special teams helps out the defense, the offense helps out the special teams, the defense helps out the offense, etc., etc. You get the idea, right? This is massive for actually winning games. Now, a lot of people don't do this in college football 25, and this is actually a massive difference maker, especially in close games. So, what you don't want to do on the kickoff team is pretty much what I just did, is just kick it deep. This results, in my experience, in a lot of busted coverages and a lot of busted kickoff returns where they just get a lot of yards out of it. Instead, what I like to do, and this is what has had me have a lot of success on kickoffs of setting up my defense for success, is choose kickoff left, all right? From here, you know, someone else will be choosing this, but we'll just go return left. We want to point our left stick all the way to the left, and then we just want to get a deep kick to the left, okay? Now from here, we're going to wait a second, then tap B, and loop one of our guys outside, then try to loop the other one inside. What we're trying to do here is create a funnel that they have to return into where our kickoff team can just converge on them, okay? So let's see this again right here. We're going to click, loop this guy out, loop this guy in, see if he comes free, and we're going to create an easy funnel, okay? We're looping 2 guys, one out, one in. We're playing contain guys, basically. We're just making our guys contain. Doing this, we'll typically tackle them before the 25, and we'll almost always, unless they break a lot of tackles, make sure that they are unable to get a kick return touchdown, okay? And by doing that, you're going to set your defense up for success. Your defense can then set up your offense for success with short field position, and you're going to help yourself win a lot of close games. This special team seriously makes a massive difference. See right there, we tackled them at the 12 or so. So instead of them getting a return to the 25, you're doing that. Now you could, if you have a big leg kicker, you could go for the touchback. But I actually like this because you see how well this is working, getting them at the 15, the 12, the 20 consistently. This is massive. Next up, do not do these things in college football 25. Assuming you actually want to win games, that is. How many times have you seen something like this where it's like, oh my goodness, it's a screamer, it's a screamer, it's a screamer. This blitz is unblockable. Oh my gosh, what do I even do? This happens so often. I get so many clips of blitzes that are just unblockable or something like that. But if we look at this is one of the massive mistakes people make. How many people am I blitzing right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 people are blitzing. I'm blocking only 5. That means no matter what, they are going to come free. So one of the biggest rules that you need to be doing is that if someone's blitzing you, count how many people they're blitzing. And you need to block at least that many. So the easy way to do it is to press Y or triangle and then block your halfback. So press the halfback icon, right trigger. Now we are going to block him. And look, now this blitz is no longer unblockable, right? They might shed you, but we can easily block this blitz. It's super simple. And a little bonus thing that so many people do that's just doing too much is watch this right here. Instead of just setting up basic protection of blocking the amount they're sending, right? They'll try to do too much where they'll block this guy and then they'll full slide and, ID or something. And the rule of thumb here is that you can actually do too much with setting up your blocking protections to where it doesn't work anymore. Whereas just simply blocking your halfback will do a really, really good job. This is perfect. Like, you have plenty of time to make whatever reads you need to make. Now you just got to put a good route combo on the field. So here's the situation, okay? We're on defense right now, and I am in man-to-man. I'm using singleton. So my assignment is the tight end. But watch what happens here. They run a pass play, they go with a zig route to the right, and they're going to easily hit this zig, which is fine. This is a good man-beating route. So you might be saying, okay, well, I'm not going to, if I see that play again, I'm going to go user that zig. But you just can't do that. So many people, when they're usering, they leave their assignment. And that might seem like a really obvious one, okay? Well, obviously, Civil, in man-to-man, you can't just leave your assignment because it's going to leave your man wide open, right? Okay, cool. You get that. I'm going to show you where a lot of people make this mistake in zone coverage, though, okay? The rules for usering in zone coverage is user your assignment or, and or's okay here, or user where your defense is weak. So let me show this out of cover 3 hard flat on defense. And then for a play here, let's go to something like, let's go high-low dig, I guess. And then let's say, cool, let's do that on offense. So here's our defense, right? We have cover 3. We have 2 hook curls on the right, or in the middle of the field. I am using Shea right here. And let's just say I'm worried about this zig. He keeps throwing this zig route. He keeps on throwing this zig route, right? Over and over and over again. I'm going to go user it. I'm going to go user it. I'm going to go user it. Well, the issue with that is that you leave your area of the field when you're just going to sprint over and user it. And so what that means is, check this out. I'm going to take away that zig. They're not going to throw that zig on me anymore. Well, now they're going to attack right where you left if they catch the ball. Apparently, ULM is terrible and does not catch the ball. But they will attack right where you leave. A really popular example of this, too, is going to user where you already have help. So an example of that would be, why would I ever user in this area? I already have a hook curl there, right? Look, why would I ever user in the area that Singleton's in if I'm not Singleton? If I'm here, we're just leaving that entire area on the right open for anything to cross into it. Wow, that was a crazy pick. You see what I'm saying, though? So instead, you have to be kind of disciplined and know your area and make sure you're working in your area so that when something gets into it, you're going to be there. Now, all the other things, all the other routes getting open in different areas means you have to adjust those defenders. I'm huge on using your user defender to help out in different areas, to bait different areas. And right there is kind of an example of that, where on the left side, let's go, I'm going to take streak. I'm going to take halfback streak, halfback streak, halfback streak. Now I got the in route. Now I got the in route. Now I got the in route. And then I'm able to actually make that play. 2 controllers, tough right now for me to actually pick that off. But you kind of see the idea. A big area people mess up on is they go into the flat, but they already have a flat defender there. Wow, you can't do that. You have to user your area or the areas of the field that you are weak on. Okay, those are the only 2 options. And then everybody else can get adjusted. Okay, everybody else can get adjusted. If you're having issues with that zig, maybe you could try manning him up something like this to help slow down that zig route. And now you're just gonna be in the middle of the field a little bit more. That's where your area becomes, right? Massive, massive, massive thing. I see so many people, they sprint to this area, boom, and they don't know why the area that they were supposed to be covering is wide open. Making this mistake will lead to a lot and a lot and a lot of bad plays. When it comes to RPOs, we have to actually make the read. I'm going to talk about how to do this in this video, okay? So, right here, we have an RPO bubble to the left side. We have hat on hat right here. We have a wide receiver with a DB lined up over top of him. Then we actually have a little bit of a numbers advantage, which is really, really good for these RPOs because Matthews should block this slot corner and we should be able to get our bubble free right here, okay? So I'm not making a total predetermined read, but I have a pretty good idea that we should be good. That guy actually blitzes and we're able to get some really easy yardage. Now that's the easy way. But right here is where things get a little bit tougher because we have hat on hat right here, right? We have hat on hat with our slot wide receiver against our slot corner. And then our innermost wide receiver has somebody above him about 5 yards off. So here, we actually have to make this read and see what that slot defender does who's about 5 yards above Grizzle, okay? If he bites down, it's hard to make that throw because that dude could just come totally free and he's gonna be an easy pick six or an easy instant hit for a big loss, wear and tear, all that stuff. Right here, though, we should be good. Why? Because we have hat and hat, hat and hat, nobody above Grizzle besides 10 yards off the ball. We should be good. Let's go make that throw. And that safety came down, but it's still a pretty safe throw, right? Because of how far off he was. Whereas we go something like this, and let's move this guy down. Well, here, guess what? We have, okay, this guy's blocking him. This guy's blocking him. But I don't know what's going to happen to that middle linebacker because no one's blocking him. So he's my read here, right? This guy above Grizzle is my read. He bites in, we're able to hit him. Had he bit out, though, we would have had to hand the ball off, which is just pushing absolutely nothing. A lot of people throw a lot of bad picks because they don't make these reads. Right here, we're able to hit this soft throw. When that guy's 10 yards off the ball, it's an easy throw. Right here, though, is a little bit scarier. Hat and hat, hat and hat. We have Grizzle with the guy about 5 yards above him. So we kind of have to make that read. Oh, he bites in. Easy read, right? That's the read. We cannot just always throw the bubble like a lot of people want to do because in a situation like this, hat and hat, hat on hat. Let's see what's going to happen right here. Boom. Just throw that bubble. That is a scary way to make a living in this game. There are just easier ways to move the ball. Right here, we got to be worried. Right, hat on hat, hat on hat. Just not the right read, right? It's just tough to make that read right there. We do it again. That's why you need to be making this read of what that defender is actually doing because these should be handoffs. This right here, oh, guy bites in. Now we're able to make this read, get into space with our playmaker, make something cool happen. But if that guy did not bite in, we couldn't do it, right? Oh, he goes out. We're just going to hand this ball off. Now they blow up the run. That might mean we just need a different play call than RPO right there. Going against blitzes can be scary, right? Like, it can be scary, especially if you don't know if it's going to get picked up. You want to walk backwards. But the thing is, you just can't. Like, you cannot. You can drift back a little bit. That's okay. But when you keep on going backwards and backwards and backwards, that's where a lot of problems happen. Because, think about it. If I throw this post route from right here, again, it's not like, we're not talking about route combo here, but if I throw that post route from right here, right, where I'm kind of stepping up, we're chilling, right? Think about how much less time the ball is in the air, rather than if I were to drop all the way back. Now I try throwing him. The ball's just in the air for significantly longer, right? So that's going to give defensive backs more time to react. On top of that, too, like, you're starting to eliminate parts of the field, especially if you start, like, rolling out without even realizing it. Like, you eliminate an entire part of the field. You're allowed to drift back a little bit. But from here, you have to just stop. You have to stop pushing the left stick, and you have to just be like, okay, we're good. And you have to trust that your protection's going to be there, okay? Then when you're looking underneath, a lot of underneath routes get open against these style blitzes because they want to take away deep. So we're here. Now we're able to work underneath, and we're okay. And the other thing that comes with this is right here, right? Let's take a sack right here. Boom. Loss of 6, okay? Not the end of the world. Let's take a sack right here, right? Oh, I'm trying to roll out, right? Right there wasn't crazy. But loss of 20, loss of 15, something like that. You just lose. Like, that drive's over now. Right here, though, you take a sack. That's okay, right? You got to be confident in your protection. That's a massive thing. Like, for me, I see myself drift back when I'm not confident in my protection, right? It's just how I am. You will drift back if you don't think you can block it. But here's the thing. If you don't think you can block it, drifting back isn't going to help anyways. And let me show you another style of blitzing where this helps even more, okay? Let's go to something like dime blitz 0. Let's go, spot option or something. And let's walk back here. The edge rushers now can get me way easier. It's way easier for an edge rusher to get me if I'm walking backwards, right? Because they're coming off the edge, so they're able just to loop around and get me. So even here, we want to make sure we're not walking backwards. Instead, we got to make sure we don't even have to step up. I'm not going to say your pre shot because it's not always practical, right? But right here, we got to at least, like, stay, right? Stay put, then make our reads downfield. If we were just walking back, we're only helping the defense. This is what people want this. This is what they want. And now, because I've chosen a side to roll out to, the entire left side of the field just got eliminated from my throwing potential, right? Whereas here, we're chilling. Boom. able to get the ball out, able to hit a nice little dot right there. Again, we're not talking about route combos right here. We're just talking about purely pass protection, or not even pass protection, just like what to do, right? Kind of like basic do's and don'ts. Because a lot of people, they lose games because immediately they see, oh, let me run back. No. Sack. 2nd and 25. You're done, buddy. It's over, right? Don't tap RT here. Don't go, oh, no. Right? Don't tap RT. All left stick. Only time you should be tapping RT is when you are ready to actually roll out. And that's only if as like part of like a design type thing. So like something like maybe this right here. Let's see if we can roll out. Edge pressure a little bit harder to roll out on. But we'll see if we can. Like something like this right here. Then we could roll out. And then, you know, we have a backside dig or something. We have a corner route that's getting open. Something like that. But the rollout, like, if you're just like, oh my gosh. You lose, dude. You have to stay calm. You have to. Boom. Snap the ball. Sit right here. Bang. Go over the rock. If you're able to pass the ball against these blitzes well from the pocket, they'll get out of them. Or you're going to score a lot of touchdowns. When you're passing, people love the long ball in this game. But just the fact of the matter is that going for the deep play, going for the big hitter, like a deep corner route, like a deep post route every single time is going to get you into more trouble than not. One of the best things you can do in this game is start hitting people underneath because that's going to make them commit resources underneath. You see what I'm saying? They can't defend both deep and underneath at the same time. Just no defense really can do that. You just don't have enough people. So, while this isn't as cool, it isn't as sexy, you can't text your girlfriend about how you threw 50 flat routes in a game. The fact of the matter is, hitting this running back flat is what will win you a lot of games. Getting that 3 yards, that 4 yards, every single play is going to keep you above the chains. Because when you get fixated on only throwing the deep corner route, right, you might get it sometimes. You might be able to do that right there and be like, I'm him. I am that dude. But I'm telling you, as somebody who has played this game and played a lot of Madden at a very high level, this right here, only looking at him, is going to result in a lot of interceptions, a lot of bad things. You have to be willing to throw underneath, and you have to tell yourself this. There's something that like a lot of people are just like, yeah, I'll throw it underneath. But no, at least for me, I have to tell myself, dude, you got to check flat, work up. Check flat, work up. Flat's there, you got, right, take them, then work up, right? This goes for even like man-beating routes, right? Let's say you see man coverage, you're like, man, I want this post route. This post route's going to cook. Bro, if the zig's there, throw the zig. Right? Because this also, another like big play thing that people don't realize is that rack in this game is really, really good. Right? So you can work underneath and still get big plays. This right here, now they have to commit resources to defending the flat. If you only look deep, I can't make this clear enough. If you only look for the 1-point touchdown, only look for the deep corner route, you're going to make that mistake, which loses you the game. Now, you don't need to become a check down Charlie where you only throw underneath, but you do need to be aware that underneath is most of your throws, in my opinion, should be 10 yards or less, probably around 5 yards, give or take. And then that'll open up some of these bigger throws. It has to be overthrow, that one right there. That'll open up some of these bigger throws because they have to commit resources underneath. Right here, they commit resources underneath, corner route over top. Now, defense, they're scrambled. They don't know what to do. Huge 4th and 1 right here. We need to get a stop, and guess what? Our opponent just ran a read option on us. They didn't even have to do anything. They just picked up the easy first down. Why did the read option just work right there? Because we got lazy on defense and never set our coaching adjustments, which only seems to hurt you in the worst possible times ever. So I'm going to tell you what coaching adjustments I like to do. Click the right stick in, boys. Then, we're here, auto-flip defensive play call. I want this on. This will match the strength of my defense to the strength of the offense, okay? Quarterback matchups, leave this balanced. When you start messing with these other ones, they just, like, a lot of times you'll get weird alignment things happening. Like, especially if they motion, you'll just see some weird things happening. Just a little bit buggy. It's really the issue. So I just leave this balanced. Then, defensive motion response, I leave this default. Option defense read key, conservative. Why? Because when they run the read option, I need the quarterback to be totally annihilated here. I need him to have no chance. Because here, if we go against that same read option, look what happens. Guy stands up, boom. They have to hand it off into the heart of the defense. Now, they could still get that first down on 4th and 1, but this is going to make sure the quarterback just doesn't get those free yards that so many people want when they run the read option. Nobody runs the read option, for the most part, especially as a gotcha play, to hand it off. They all want to keep it. So, we're going to take that away. Then, what we want to do, we go back to our coaching adjustments. That's a right stick in, by the way. We're going to go to our option defense pitch key. Aggressive. When people run speed options, right? Let's go to concept. Let's go option right here. Let's go load option or speed option this applies to. When people do this, they aren't trying to keep it with their quarterback. They want to pitch it. This is going to get rid of the pitch, okay? That's what this does. So option defense aggressive will make them have to keep it with their quarterback. Again, they can get yards doing this, but it's not the big play that people are looking for. We just want to make them a little bit uncomfortable, okay? Again, you could switch it throughout a game, throw them off if someone's running it a lot. So conservative, aggressive. Strip ball balance, tackling balance. Zone drops, I leave it default typically right now, although you could change them based on the defense you're running, down to distance. 4th and 20, I put these at 20, right? 4th and 5, I put them at 5, especially hooks. I'll usually put my hooks at wherever the depth is on big downs. Just a couple of things to keep in mind. This is seriously a game changer, especially in those like pivotal situations where someone tries breaking out a read option or a speed option, or a certain, 4th and long. You might want to hit them with the 25-yard hook curls. Maybe it's end of half. Bring these bad boys back to 30. Stuff like that, it seriously makes a big difference. This is a fundamental problem that so many people have when they run an offense. I want to showcase, this is actually a stock play. It's one of my favorite plays, tight end corner, but I have a big question for you guys here. What is this corner route doing in this play? What is he doing? Like, what's the purpose of him? Literally nothing. He's actively doing nothing for us. He can't get open ever. If we run this play stock, this corner route never gets open. He can't get underneath deep blues. He can't beat man coverage by himself. He can't do anything. There's no reason to have this corner route on the field. And the issue I see so many people have when they run an offense or different route combos is they have routes that are all by themselves that aren't working in tandem with each other. And this play actually has a little bit of that just in general, but every route should have a purpose of working with one another, okay? So it should be, even if the route doesn't get open, it'll open up somebody else. An example of that is, let's say we do something like a streak from B right here, okay? This streak might never get open, but he might open up this corner route, right? Because now this corner route can get above or get underneath a deep blue. Let's show it against this, right? We have cover 3 right here. I'm going to go with that corner route on the right side to the tight end. Let's watch him, right? He's just not able really to get open super well. Like, that's a very tough throw. Whereas now, same defensive look. We're going to streak B. Now look at him, right? Much more open. If you disagree that those two balls are not significantly different in how open they are, leave this video. This is not for you, brother, right? So our routes have to be complementing one another. So what I would like to do on a play like this, if this corner route was here, I'd honestly get rid of him. What if we instead did something like this to where now all our routes are complementing each other, okay? And how are they? Let's break it down. Streak, gonna push back any deep blues. Corner route is gonna attack underneath that streak, right? So note all the deep blues are gone. Corner route attacks underneath that area. Now the drag is gonna attack underneath where the corner route's going. So then we're able to isolate that sideline, and if they go high, we can go low. If they go low, we can go high. Okay? You might be saying, okay, what about this return route? This is acting as a trail, like a bit of a trail concept here, where that drag is clearing out area in the middle of the field. We're able to hit that return route. Now, right there, I just kind of forced it, but you can kind of see the idea where drag goes, then the return route covers where the drag just came from. So we're able to replace where our drag is going with that return route and acting as a bit of a trail, okay? Let's go here again. Oh, we have underneath. Cool. Notice how now all our routes are actually acting in tandem with one another, okay? Another really good example of this, actually, would be something like, let's go something like mesh spot, okay? And let's go against a random defense. Now this, I would post route my outside wide receiver. All of these routes are acting very much in tandem with one another, okay? Our two drags in the middle are going to cross each other quickly, beating man coverage, acting as a mesh, attacking each flat as well, okay? So now we can just go between these two guys, a little bump pitch happens, and our drags are able to help each other out and get open. The other thing happening here is, what is this wheel doing? This wheel is actually pushing all of the flat zones to the sidelines. Watch this hard flat. Watch what Smith Young does here. Okay, then watch how I'm able to throw my drag. Smith Young has to get super far out because of the wheel, meaning that I can then throw my drag. And I can kind of show you an example of when that doesn't happen. Let's go here. I'm not going to have that wheel, But I still have that hard flat. Let's get the hard flat coming from, we go something like inside guy. Yeah, there we go. Now I'm going to try throwing this drag with nothing pushing the hard flat to the sideline. There, you see it's, that's a pick 6. That is a pick 6. The game just chose for it not to be. You see what I'm saying? So that wheel is actually acting as a pull route to the sideline to open up the drag a bit more. And then the wheel also can get open over top as well against man coverage, busted coverage, stuff like that, okay? What is this post route doing? This post route is getting underneath the fade, okay? The fade's acting as a clear out, and then the post route is getting open underneath him, all right? So, and he won't always be open every single play. Right there, though, we see that wheel. The wheel pushes everything to the sideline, then gets upfield. Wheel's open for a big gain right there. Let's go back to it right here. Sending pressure again. Oh, notice right there, we're able to hit that post. Why we're able to hit that post? Because of the fade. If you don't believe me, let's try throwing it right here. We don't have the fade. Okay, it's going to be much harder to throw this post route against the exact same coverage. That wasn't totally the same coverage, but the fade pushes everything deep. This is a basic route combo. Let's see. Can we get another example of that one? Let's go something like cover 4. Sure. This should be a good look. Let's see it against cover 4. Boom. This post route is much harder to throw where we have defenders in that area. And again, we're still able to hit him, I suppose. He's a good route. But if we have that fade is going to push everything far back. And that post route's going to be able to get way more open. Notice right here, that post route's able to get no one even around him. You just have to deliver a good throw. So again, we have routes all working in tandem with one another. That's what we want. Right here, we're actually going to have that wheel be a quick read as well. Every route should be acting as a route that can get open, right? But also as a route that's going to help other routes get open. Even as something like quick slants. If we go to spread halfback weak quick slants right here. This, even something like this slant right here, or I'm sorry, this flat right here is going to open up this slant as he crosses the field. Especially if we did like this guy in a slant. This flat is going to push the sideline zones to the sideline, allowing more space in the middle of the field for the slant route. Right there, it's man coverage. But you'll kind of see that idea. Let's go something like Tampa 2. Okay. Watch where the cloud flat goes on the right side. Cloud flat is outside right corner. He has to go to the sideline. He's stuck on the sideline. Meaning I can throw this route very late. Whereas if I did not have that, let's go to another Tampa 2. Let's watch the right side. We have the outside corner and a hard flat, or cloud flat. Watch this. Watch the cloud flat now without a pull route to the sideline. He's sucking inside more. See how much further inside he is? There's no pull route. So that flat route on quick slants even was acting as a pull route to the sideline to open up the middle of the field. And not only that, but he's also a quick read in case they're playing, over top coverage. Right there, not a great example of it, but you get the idea. If they're, setting a heavy blitz, something like that, boom, quick read. So he's multi-dimensional. It's not just a random route in the field. He's helping everybody else get open. I'll start this with a question. What coverage is the defense in right now? We have 4 down linemen. We have an outside corner. We have 2 high safeties. There's a slot corner over here on the left. What coverage is this? You have your guess? Cover 0. This is cover 0 right here. Now, why did I do that? What's the point of what we're doing right here? Well, everybody approaches pre-snap very incorrectly. There's a lot of bad information about that, where a lot of people tell you need to be predicting the coverage. You need to be identifying what the coverage is pre-snap. The fact of the matter is, we saw how that looked. Well, I'm going to make the exact same look right here. This is cover 3. How would you ever know that? You can't identify that pre-snap. And guess what? I'm going to do the exact same thing. Exact same look. This time, I'm in cover 2. How would you ever know that? Right? So the point I'm making is that if you're playing anybody good, or if you're playing somebody who, like the CPU, who does a good job of disguising their coverage through like cover 9 show 2, for example, some plays like that are built in disguise. Well, what we actually want to do instead is not worry about what exact coverage they're in. Because think about it. If I call cover 3 right here, and I call a flood concept to the left, let's do this right here. If I know they're in zone and I call this flood concept, do I actually care if they're in cover 2, cover 3, or cover 4? Well, right there, that was cover 3. So let's go Tampa 2. Okay. Same exact play. So it's open again. What about cover 4? No, it doesn't matter what they're in. We have zone beaters and we have man beaters. We can dumb the game down all the way to that point. So instead of trying to identify what exact zone coverage they're in, which can be helpful if you get to that point throughout the game and you pick up your opponent's tendencies, instead, I focus on two things. One, blitz, no blitz, and two, man or zone. Blitz, no blitz is very important because it tells you how many people you need to block and how fast you need to be looking to get the ball out. The way I tell blitz, no blitz is essentially the front they're showing me pre-snap. So right here, how many people do we have in the box? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm a little bit worried about this guy blitzing because if he came free up the A gap, that'd be very, very bad, obviously. This guy's a little bit far out, so I'm not actually worried about Bentley too much out here. It's just, it'd be a long blitz angle a little bit, so it'd be tough. And then we have a slot corner who I'm not worried about him in this case. And we have an outside corner right here who I'm also not worried about him. Now, I could be proven wrong here, right, if my opponent does blitz from this. But to begin, I'm saying no blitz because at best, they're sending 5. So I'm not worried about a blitz at all here. This case, though, what if they did something like this? Where, they did this and the front was something more like this. Here, I'm saying blitz, blitz, blitz. I need to block my halfback here 100%. And guess what? If I'm wrong, I use that information to help me with my next play. Nice. I use that information to help me with my next plays. Does that kind of make sense? Whereas right here, let's say I'm thinking no blitz. And you know what happens? Oh, they blitzed me. They blitzed me. Oh, shoot. Well, guess what? Now, from now on, I'm going to know that they might blitz me for that, so I'm going to get more prepared for it, okay? Then we want to identify man or zone. The reason for that is because we have man beaters and zone beaters. Some plays can do a good job against both, but at its core fundamental standpoint, we want man or zone beaters. So when we look at this, easy way to tell man zone, we give you 2 different ways. Motion, right? Notice right there, they don't follow me across the field. Nobody is running with Moore Jr. right here. That's telling me probably, again, keyword probably, is going to be zone. Right here, let's go again. Motion, look what happens. Probably man, okay? Most likely man. Now you could, if you're playing an advanced player, like a kind of unique guy, he could disguise that even, but probably man. Then here's the next thing you have to do, right? You have to call your plays that are going to do a good job. I call them everything beaters that are going to do a good job against man and zone, and then I just identified during that play, what was it? Because most people have tendencies. So if someone's consistently calling man on you, you can safely predict the next play is going to be man, especially if it's from the exact same look. Does that kind of make sense? So we're looking pre-snap, do I think man or zone, right? We're making our prediction, and then we're calling the play and using the information from one play to lead to the next play. That's how I've always approached pre-snap, and it's been way better because the trap some people fall into is, oh, I think it's cover 3. He's showing, I think it's cover 4 right here. So I'm going to call my cover 4 beater. My in-route should always be open against cover 4. And then it ends up being cover 3, and you're like, oh, shoot, nothing's open because you just were so fixated on what beats that specific coverage instead of just trying to beat basic zone or basic man. I'm keeping it a buck with you guys. I've led you somewhat astray. A lot of people love the sexy routes, and I've given into that. I've told you guys about the sexy routes, so the routes that seem like they're unstoppable and they're big hitters, right? Everyone knows about the deep speed out. Everyone loves crossers. You love doing this right here. It's so easy. It's free yardage. You've probably done it before. If you haven't, maybe steal that. But here's the thing. There's a way better route that you should be adding to your arsenal. That's a lot easier to throw. That's open against more things. And that is easier to add into your offense from anything, okay? I'm talking, of course, about the tight end drag route. Looks something like this. We snap this ball, and we're going to throw it. Now, why is this route good? Because you're like, dude, it's a drag route. Who cares? Well, I'm going to show you exactly why. Let's press Y or triangle, and then we're going to select A, and then go down the right stick. That's going to get our tight end on this drag route looking just like this, okay? So, the reason this is really, really good, let's just go, we're going up against random defenses right now, right? This is a really good sign if something is good or not, because random defense is literally just going to be random defenses, meaning that if this route gets open against the majority of random defenses, it means it's going to get open against a lot of defenses, right? It's pretty straightforward. I'm not a smart man. I'm not super complex. And so far, we've gotten it open every single play. Let's go again right here. This time it's a quick throw. Good gain of 5. Do you notice something going on with this? Every time I've called this tight end drag, it's gotten open. Now, that doesn't mean it's unguardable, but what it does mean is that it's pretty tough to defend. It takes specific adjustments to defend, okay? And whenever you have a route that takes specific adjustments to defend, you have a good opportunity for a good route here. this tight end drag is going to beat man coverage, and he's going to beat zone coverage, especially, like, he'll beat man coverage a lot of the time, especially if you have a good tight end. And against zone coverage, he'll beat most zone coverages. Let's look at something like this right here. Boom. Let's go tight end drag. Guess who's open again? This guy. And now the nice thing with the tight end drag is that he can actually be thrown in 2 different areas, right? You can go quick throw right in the middle. You've seen us do that. Nice. You've seen us do that a few times, right? The quick throw right in the middle. That I think a lot of people take this throw for granted, and you have to be willing to throw that. But he also gets open on the sideline. Let's watch. Right here, right? Notice how I'm throwing him a little bit later this time. And depending on the route combo, you could actually throw him all the way on the sideline, depending. Or you could throw him a little bit earlier, right? Right here, we're going to throw him in the seam. Notice the rack opportunity. We're on Heisman difficulty right now. This is against random defenses. If you ever have a route that's able to get open consistently against random defenses, it is a good route, okay? We have not gotten this defended a single time, by the way. Not once. And the other thing with this is that this is a great blitz beater. It doesn't take a bunch of time to develop, right? It's like the fastest route you can really hope for. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really develop any faster than that. It gets into one of your usual playmakers who's a tight end, and it's super safe and an easy read, right? This is not hard. You don't need a special pass lead to keep your feet in bounds. This is the route that you want to add to your offense. This is the tight end drag, and you need to start using it. This is going to seem like a beginner one, but I promise you it's not. So, who do we need to be usering when we're on defense? The user is who we're actually, controlling. A lot of people want to use their defensive line. Fact of the matter is, this is not the best way to do it. It's widely accepted by the best players in the world that this is not how you want to do it, unless it is every once in a while for the idea of getting a very fast speed pass rush. If you can do that every time, okay. You can't. You literally can't. If you can, then sure. You can't, though. Now, with that being said, who should you be using? You want to, ideally, if you're starting out using, I like to be in a cover 3 or a cover 4 zone, right? I like to press wire triangle, shade my coverage underneath, so I get these nice hard flats on the field. This is what it looks like. And user these yellow zones, okay? Just one of them. Now, here's where we're going to get into a bit more advanced stuff, because a lot of people they just don't do a good job with this. Where my zone, my responsibility is this area of the field right here, right? We all see that? Well, when the ball snapped, I'm actually going to run over here. What just happened? I left my area, and I gave up a super easy dot. So what we need to keep in mind always is that we have an area of the field that we need to protect. And if someone's attacking that area, we need to be there, right? Right there, no one is until late. So I'm able to go up to this in route late. We have to be looking for what's going to attack our area of the field. Let me show you another example. We need to know where our help is. Let's go. Let's go here, right? Oh, quick drag. I'm there. Now I'm working up that in route, and I'm able to get there for a potential alert. Notice how I'm taking away 2 different routes with my user. If we did this with a AI defender, right? Notice that left middle backer now run the exact same route combo, same defense. Right here, right? He is not able to play that in route. My user can, though. That's a difference in an interception. That is the difference between getting a stop on 4th down. That is the difference between actually winning games and losing games. So we gotta user our area, but we don't want to follow this guy all the way down. Why don't we want to follow this drag all the way to the sideline? In this case, why don't we? Well, because we have help on that sideline, right? We have help over here. So why would I ever go user all the way to the sideline as we get shedded? Why would I ever use that guy all the way to the sideline when we have help over on that side? Let me spy my defensive line so we don't insta-shed them again. All right, this makes no sense for me to try to go all the way over here to the sideline when we already have help there. So know where your help is, right? A good example of this is, if we have a running back streak right here. Well, to begin, I actually should be right here. But you know what I need to do? I need to bail off that guy because I have deep zone help. Right? I have deep zones that are eventually going to help me. So if there's, someone attacking that seam, okay, I gotta be here. But as that route gets deeper and deeper, I can bail off of it, okay? So the key rules here is that you want to use one of these yellow zones if you're just starting out, and you gotta know where your help is, right? So many people get dotted up in the middle of the field, and the reason behind the reason they're getting dotted up is because they're not using the correct area, right? They're giving up their area. They're doing whatever, and they're able to throw dots right where they're supposed to be. You got to know your area. You got to know where your help is. Pocket presence is one of those, high skill gap type things. When you see somebody with good pocket, you go, whoa, it looks hot. When you see a Madden player or a college football player get some good pocket presence, you're like, dang, that looks hot. But the advice around good pocket is actually, it's incredibly bad. It's bad. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the idea behind good pocket, we all know what bad pocket looks like, right? Right here, they're just kind of drifting back, then they try launching it, and usually you just, like, you get sacked or you get a bad throw because you walk too far back. And so what people will say is, step up. Step up. You gotta step up in the pocket. Which is true, sort of. What about in this case? Should I step up there? What if he was disengaging? What if that was, like, inconsistent, but he would come free sometimes? Should I step up right there? Right? Should I be stepping up against this? Not really. Right? Why would I step up against that? I'm gonna bring myself towards the blitzers. Instead, against this, right? We do it again. Right here, I actually kind of want to drift back a little bit. Right? I want to drift back, buy myself some time. Now we throw a pick, but like the route combo is irrelevant here. I want to buy myself some time by drifting back a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean drift all the way back. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying do this. But I am saying, against different styles of pressure, you want to change how your pocket presence is going to be. Because let me give you another example of this, okay? Let's do something like edge pressure, okay? Well, do we want to drift back against edge pressure? Not really. You don't want to do that in that case, right? So this edge pressure would be a really good example of like, no, you want to step up against this, right? You want to take this and go, no, I'm stepping up, buy myself time. That's a great example when you want to step up. But if they're setting A-gap pressure, you never want to step up like that. You know what I'm saying? So the goal here is to drift away from where the pressure's coming from, okay? And sometimes you don't really have a ton of places to go. Against that right there, wasn't a ton I could do. Maybe I could have rolled out, right here. Now I can't really roll out. We're just going to stand still. And let's see, can we deliver this dot? Beautiful. But right there, stepping up would have been really stupid. Also right there, drifting back isn't really the best thing. We're already pretty deep, so we could just kind of sit here, right, in that case. Whereas if there was, let's say it's a blitz from the left side only, you know, it's something like they're doing this, and especially if they, like, really overdid it, right? Well, in this case, I might kind of drift a little bit to the right and step up to the right a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to just straight step up. I'm also not going to step back. It's all about feeling that. The best way to start getting better with your pocket presence is simply run whatever route combos you would usually run, right? Set up your normal plays. Let's say this one of my normal plays, and just go up against random defense. The reason for this is that you want to get your eyes downfield, make the reads that you'd usually make, but then you want to basically out of the corners of your eyes, you're going to be able to see the pocket still. You're going to be able to feel the pocket, right? You're going to be able to know, do I need to step back? You're going to be able to know if I need to step, drift a little bit here and there. And with that, the other part of that goes with our pre-snap reads that we talked about already, which is, if you see them lining up in the A-gap, they're stacked in the middle, you might want to drift back a little bit. Right here, we're going to step up, and we had the opportunity to hit that beam. Now, they shed me, but, like, that's still a good pocket right there, right? Right here, I don't want to step up against this. We just want to chill, right? And then, make the read on the play. Again, this isn't a very good play call, but you're smart enough to get the idea. Right here, we're going to drift a little bit this way, go over the throw. Wow, this dude sucks. I don't know who this QB is, but he's the worst. Right here, we're chilling. We can actually now, this opportunity they gave us to roll out. Boom. But, like, had I stepped up, I couldn't have done that, really. Right? You see what I'm saying? Like, it really changes a lot. Right here's a great opportunity to step up. That's a great spot to step up right there. We kind of got that seal. Make sure, the big thing is, though, you want to keep your eyes downfield, which can be tough. Right? Which can be tough. And I'm missing reads right now because this just isn't a play that I use. You want to make sure you're calling plays that you are comfortable with, of course. We're just chilling. We're chilling. We have different things. Right here. We're fine. Can we deliver this? That's a beam. That's hot. You obviously take your first check down read. But that's how your pocket goes. And notice how my pocket's a little bit different every single play. Right here, I just scramble up and there's nothing I can do. He just shedded me. We did the best we could. Right? Maybe if I had a faster QB. Right here, we're chilling. Right? Boom. Dot. It can change based on the pressure they're sending. The idea that you have to just force yourself to step up is just not good advice. Sometimes it is, but this is not a rule of thumb you want to follow. Instead, be patient, try drifting away from the pressure, wherever that pressure might be coming from. So I want to show you guys the easiest way that I've found to stop RPOs in College Football 25. It's actually pretty simple. We're going to show a couple different ways. The first of which is going to be come out in any forward defensive lineman set with a slot corner, okay? Then from here, we want to move this guy in, kind of off the tackle a little bit, like manually move him. And if you put him in a hard flat, so, call cover 3, shade your coverage underneath. That's why I triangle down the right stick. So the coverage looks like this. Then simply pass commit. It's going to be right bumper and up on the right stick. Now, if they run the ball from this out of an RPO, it's okay because it is a pass play. right? The RPO register the pass play, so you won't get hurt for the run commit. Or the pass commit. And if they throw it, you're just going to come free every single time. Okay, next thing we do, I'll show this from a few different sets, but I just want to show it here first, is move the same guy in, man him up onto the RPO player. That's pressing A or X on PlayStation, up on the right stick, man that guy up. Now you see we're manned up on him. Now it depends on who the RPO player is, but you want to man that guy up. Now, we're not even worried about the pass commit, and it's really easy to stop. So let's show this out of a few different things. That's a really annoying one right there, by the way. That's that swing screen that a lot of people do. Let's go trips tight end. Let's go RPO alert bubble. Does the same concept work right here? The answer is yes. Let's go right here. Move this guy in. And you don't even always have to pass commit. It definitely works way better if you do. Like right there, you actually kind of see him get caught inside. We didn't pass commit, but you can get away with it sometimes. Right here, let's do it again. This time, let's make sure we do the pass commit. Up on the right bumper, up on the right stick. Oh, pick 6. Pick the ball. Let's do the same idea. Move this guy in, man him up. Same idea. Bang. Pick 6. Now, there's one more option we could do here. Same idea, but instead, we're going to take a linebacker. We're going to take an interior defender, do that same thing. So now we're manning that guy up with a linebacker instead. Same idea. Biggest thing you just got to be aware of with that one is just make sure that you're not like if this guy's all the way in here and you man him up, he's not going to play it because he's just not in a good position, right? So you just got to keep that in mind that if you man him up with an inside player, you want to have them relatively in position. Like something like this would be fine. Now we go here. Pick 6. Hopefully you get a pick 6 off that. Right. Really easy. This is how you stop RPOs. Works for pretty much all of the RPOs. And pick. Beautiful. Beautiful. Dance on him. Stun. Looking good. Looking good. All right, next one. We talked about these tight end drags earlier, right? Like they are very, very good. But you obviously just can't use a tight end drag all by itself. So what makes a good route combo here? Well, let's use that tight end drag, right? We're going to utilize a route that's really good. But then let's actually pair it with a route concept that's really good. In this case, we're in the gun tight flex. We're going to put our outside wide receiver on a flat and our running back on a streak. So this is the route concept happening on the right side. Running back streak is attacking the seam. We have a quick flat read and we have a quick drag read. We have numerous routes here that we can throw fast and we can throw hot against a blitz. And the streak is tough to defend, takes very specific zones. And this drag is tough to defend. We now have 2 routes on this play that are tough to defend. But let's take this a step further. Let's actually corner out our outside left wide receiver and streak our slot wide receiver. So here's our route combo now. Why is this good? Well, how do you defend corner routes in this game? You've probably asked that before. Well, they're very tough to defend. They take very specific things. So think about it. If a corner route takes a specific style of defense to defend, and a drag takes a specific style of defense to defend, and the running back streak does as well, it's unlikely they're able to defend everything, right? Maybe they can, but it's unlikely. It's way too hard to defend everything. So we're putting together a bunch of routes that individually are tough to defend. When we pair them together, I mean, good luck, brother. Now the CPU, it kind of depends, but like they're gonna really give up the tight end drag a ton. CPU really struggles against these, just because it takes specific adjustments that they're just not able to do. And right there, I actually had my flat on the right side that I just totally missed. The drag was there too. But you kind of get the idea now, right? So here, I'm gonna show it to you again. And this is literally the idea behind what makes a good route concept. Or route, like entire play, really. It's you have a couple of routes that are tough to defend, and you pair them together and work them together inside the same play where they're all complementing each other, right? Right here, now the ball. In this case, we'll just go. And that's what's nice is we can actually hit that flat route whenever we can hit, like I call that like a complementary route where you're never really calling this play for the flat, right? But when we can hit him and get him going, oh, I mean, they got to defend so much now, right? We could have thrown him right there. We didn't. Just throw the drag instead. They were hitting the drag late. We hit the drag early, or we can hit the drag early as well. Go here again. This time, man, you know what actually sucks is I'm not getting that. I'm not getting the halfback streak open at all against the CPU. It's great against blitzes. Really, it's great against blitzes. Right now against what they're doing though, not doing great. Can we get it here? I'm not gonna force it. We have drag. This is actually probably the best defense they've played, and we're still able to get a route bounce dot. That's like how route combos are built, is just like that. Feel free to steal this one because you can do it. We're in tight flex right now, but why can't you do this from something else? You absolutely could. Let's talk about a few things you might not know about pass protection in College Football 25. This one should be pretty helpful to you guys. So the first thing I want to talk about first and foremost is if somebody's containing you, right? They're going double tapping the right bumper and they're getting these contains. Well, a lot of people just assume oh, they're containing, I just can't do anything, I can't roll out or anything, right? Not entirely true. If they contain, what we can actually do here is hold left bumper, okay? Hold left bumper. Go down on the right stick. See, down the right stick hits double team. We're gonna down the right stick to double team, and we get this plus icon. Now we can let go of everything, use the left stick, and double team whoever we choose. So in this case, let's double team this outside right guy. So we hit A or X on him. Now he has a little plus over him. What happens? He is double teamed. And what does that mean? We can now roll out. Now, obviously, you need a fast quarterback. That guy's an athlete. He can't shed, but that's an easy way to break contain. And that's also a really easy way using the double team mechanic is that if they have one guy who's just a dog, right? Let's say we snap this ball and they're user rushing us and they're, getting really fast sheds, or they have one guy who just keeps on winning for some reason, just dominating us. We can use that same double team mechanic, select him, and now he's going to get double teamed. It's less likely for him to insta-shed. You can see that right there on that dude. We just double teamed. Really easy way to slow down any kind of pass rush. Again, left bumper, down the right stick. You then can choose a double team. You cannot double team people off the line of scrimmage, by the way. So like a safety or a linebacker or a slot corner, you cannot double team. Yep. Next, a lot of people don't know this. There is a massive difference between play action blocking and normal blocking, okay? And there's even some differences within the different styles of normal blocking on like different play types, like a quick pass, 3-step drop, 5-step drop, but we're just gonna go play action compared to a normal drop back pass. Right here, if we look at our offensive line, they all are taking their kick steps. You can see where they're all going, they're all dropping, right? And we snap this ball, you can actually see them really drop step, right? Especially those tackles. When we run play action, wow, my quarterback just keeps fumbling in this one. Nice. When we run play action, notice what happens here. Look at their lines. They're all attacking. And even if I put my halfback on a route right here, right? We're not even running play action anymore. They're still attacking. Tight end on a route, they're still attacking. And this is actually, they'll relatively play, especially the tackles will play, relatively the same. You'll see some of those kick steps. But the offensive line, the interior of it, they actually do a better job against disengages. And this could be a really good way to turn off certain abilities on the defensive line. Using play action plays can turn off things like quick jump, and it's been known to turn off the other things in the game, such as edge threat elite in Madden, and even double or nothing in Madden in years past. I cannot confirm that for this year, so don't take my word for that this year. In College Football 25, 100% confirmed. This will stop quick jump though, so just something to keep in mind. There's a massive difference there. On top of that too, you will notice that certain blitz protections will either work better or worse with play action blocking. All right. Just another thing to keep in mind, because if you notice sometimes your blitz is coming in and sometimes it's not, your blitz might suck against play action. That's a very real thing that happens. Play action can totally eliminate a blitz because the blocking is different and the defenders react a little bit differently to that different blocking. They'll play slightly different in their blitz angles because it is technically a play action play, so they're playing a little bit more of a run. So just a few things to keep in mind and how to utilize, one, breaking the contain, right? And also utilize play action. Just be aware that could be different and a tool that you could use. If you made it to the end of this, if you got value, make sure you check out my website, civil.gg. It is absolutely the place you want to be if you want to win more games in College Football 25. You use code CIVIL30, get a cool 30% off. There's complete guides on offense and defense, a lot of different tips there, and you'll be joining over 1,000 players who 96% of them say they've won more games since joining. Again, link to that top of the description.